Bird. What up with your big coach? Congratulations to your boy signing yesterday, man.
What happened?
Hey, congratulations to your boy signing yesterday.
And I appreciate that.
The Millsap I saw, huh?
Ain't you
Yeah,
happy I don't never need you?
yeah. I had two kids go to Millsap, and I got our running back went to Duluth College. I mean Crown College in Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah,
Congratulations, man. That's what it's all
man.
about right there.
Hell yeah, coach. That's all I care about me.
That's what's up, man.
I talking to one of the parents, and it's like, man, coach, man, we appreciate it. I was like, man, listen, you don't understand. This is my favorite time of year. Signing day in the draft process. This is my favorite time of year because again, this is when families get changed. That's what I love about this.
Facts.
Man, that's
I'm,
what I was trying to tell the boys about Coach Cal in a group. Boys talking about he wasn't successful at Kentucky. Man, how many players he got to go to the NBA making millions of dollars? Man, I
Say
mean,
we gonna suck with Mark Pope. It's not gonna be the same, bro. Like when I've been
Y'all seen
arguing
the
with people for days, bro. They was
y'all see the video he posted?
Yes,
That motherfucker,
yes,
he did that shit in BYU.
yes.
That shit crazy.
We talking about a man. Stop. We talking about a man with a 76% win percentage. The second most wins next to Adolph Rupp.
Hey, Cal,
Adolph
man.
Rupp was winning championships when black people didn't play basketball.
Right.
We talking about a man with the
He was one of
second.
them. Hey, he was one of the main ones who ain't want him to play basketball.
Yeah. Like, yeah, in Kentucky gonna struggle. Mark Pope, he knows how to run the offense and such. Man, he been at BYU with kids who don't have sex, right? What he gonna do with kids who having sex on
Yeah,
the
about to
regular?
say it's gonna be a culture shock for him.
culture
Yeah.
shock, like it's
Even
an
though he
understatement.
went
It's
to
gonna be a culture shock for
he
him.
went to
It'll be a culture shock for
Kentucky.
the kids. For him, it's gonna be a culture shock.
He went to Kentucky. He won in '96, but I'm like, bro, like, nah, I just don't see it, bro. And all
Hey,
the Cal needed to go, and we were with, bro.
Man,
People
y'all
kill me. Do you know how hard it is to win with young talent? First
hey,
of all,
but
young talent don't win.
I was just about to say the same thing. People don't realize I'm asking 6 of the top high school 18-year-olds in the country to come here and play together.
to come
Buy
play.
in on defense and not worry about going to the league. Come on, man.
Buy in on defense. But they ain't played defense never in their life.
Right.
They ain't had to. Not at an elite level. Nah, come on, bro. People don't get that.
And I
They-
gotta take the rock instead of scoring 30 every night.
Right.
All right, y'all. We are officially live, bro. This is a podcast, Sports Debaters podcast. The title: Are we done with the '90s? Are we done with the '90s? Is that just a statement that's floating around, or is that some true facts that's going around?
Hey,
First, I'm
man.
going to introduce everybody. My top right, I got my boy John Rich. What's up, John?
I'm with it.
Of course, got Coach in the building. He make an appearance every once in a while.
What's happening? What's happening?
Of course, got Cliff in the building.
What's the
Somebody,
business?
Eric Lewis said Mavs and 6. Hey, Eric, hey, I'm wearing a Mavs jersey, but I got the Clippers going to the championship, bro.
So is the bracket set? Is the playoff bracket I already set? We don't need to worry about.
It's coming
Nah,
down to the
play-in
last game.
game.
We got coming down to the last game of the
Because
season
it's a
right there.
three-way tie for first, ain't it?
Yeah.
Right now, I think the Thunder in first. I think right now the Thunder.
Yep, sure are.
They got the tiebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got the tie break. I'll put it up right here.
Yeah, I think the
Not
Thunder are in
mistaken.
first place right now, and then the Lakers in 8.
The
The Suns, the Suns and the Lakers, that'll be a fire first little playing game. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, facts.
The Suns and Lakers,
Big
that'll
time.
be a fire playing game.
Big time.
Yeah.
But that's how it's looking though, Coach.
Yeah, let me pull up the thing right here. All right. The official standings in the Western Conference. We have the Oklahoma City #1. We have the Timberwolves 2, Denver Nuggets 3, Clippers 4, Mavs 5, Pelicans 6, the Phoenix Suns 7, Lakers 8, Kings 9, Warriors 10. I always got to throw that shot, man. They always talk to me since the AD trade, so I got to throw that.
Oh yeah, they be cutting up. They be cutting up. Hey, but look, and let's start off with this topic that's been bothering me. I wanna start off with you first, Cliff, on this topic because I think you got a strong opinion about it. The '90s basketball. Well, what's your thoughts on '90s basketball? Just tell me your thoughts. I'm not even gonna, I just want you to answer that question. What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on '90s basketball is, I would say it's nostalgia for most people who are over the age of 40, right? Like they think, oh, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was not guarding elite guards. Like, and the first thing they'll say is, well, you got to look at the bigs. I respect Hakeem Olajuwon. I respect Patrick Ewing. I respect even Alonzo Mourning. But what the new age bigs can do, not outside Hakeem. I take Hakeem out of there, right? Hakeem is in a league of his own. He plays defense. He rebound.
David Robinson.
Assists.
David Robinson.
I'm not even going. I don't. I wasn't even thinking today. But David Robinson is also in that elite category. Like Patrick Ewing, and I can find another Patrick Ewing. I can find another Dikembe Mutombo. You know what I'm saying? Like certain players, I can't say I can find another David Robinson. So you don't think I can find another Patrick Ewing?
Where have you found him yet? I'm just asking. You name one.
Just name one.
One.
Patrick Ewing over Joel Embiid.
Okay, you got one. I give you one.
I just need one. That's
keep going. Keep
I
going.
I take AD over Patrick Ewing.
You keep going, brother. I'm gonna stop. You keep going.
No, I'm just saying. And it's not. I take AD over Patrick Ewing. Like the bigs were elite, but the guard play was abysmal, right? Like they didn't have bags, they didn't have handles. Who was the best guards? Mitch Richmond, Joe Dumars.
Hey, excuse me. How old are you, big brother?
36.
You're 36. So you talking about people over 40. So then that means you should know Clyde Drexler was a dog. You should know Reggie Miller was elite. You should know Mitch Richmond was elite. Joe Dumars is a Hall of Famer.
And I can find guards in this day and age that can do everything they can do and more.
You just asked me to name you some. I'm naming you some.
And
then you move the goalpost again.
How I move the goalpost?
I can name you something that could do just what he did. Show me who's Isaiah Thomas right now. Show me who's Isaiah Thomas right now.
Right now, I need to guard Kyrie.
So you trying to tell me Kyrie can go through the Boston Celtics, go through Michael Jordan and the Bulls, and go through the Lakers? No, hold on. We see. There you go. You see, there we go. Now you go with the caveats. I'm telling you what Isaiah did. Isaiah had one of the greatest championship runs ever. He went through Bird and the Celtics. No. Hold on, calm down. He went through Bird and the Celtics. He went through MJ and the Bulls, and he went through Magic and the Lakers. When Kyrie did that? I mean, as the number one. As the dog, the alpha, the leader, the number one. When he did
Kyrie never did that as the alpha, the dog, or the leader. Never said he did that as the. I never said he did that as the alpha.
Okay, but hold on, wait.
Talking about ability on the court. That's all I'm talking about.
Hold on, big fella. I'm talking about what he did. Ability is, man, he got a ring, he got a trophy, he led his team to championship. That's not a part of an ability. I'm just asking. So
I was just talking about the ability on the floor. That's it. We went because I said the bigs. You went to the guards.
No. First of all, hold on. See, and that's what I'm gonna come back on. You started talking about Michael Jordan, and then you just jumped to the bigs. Hold on, we talking about you. First, we started on guard play, and then you went to David Robinson and Patrick Ewing. No. Hold on, big fella. But you can't start with guard play and talk about one of the greats ever. And who did Jordan guard? What elite two guard did he play against? And then start naming bigs. That is a counterintuitive.
I started off naming the bigs. I started off with the bigs. If you was listening, coach.
No, the first thing you said, big fella, you said those that love the 90s are just about nostalgia. Y'all talk about Michael Jordan. Who elite did Michael Jordan guard? Am I wrong, Jerm? Is that how he started?
That's what I said, and then I transitioned into the bigs. But you never let me finish my point in the first place. In the middle of me talking, you interrupted.
My bad,
I can't even go back to what I was saying.
I'm gonna stop talking.
You ain't like what I said.
Hey, let me jump in right quick. I do believe in evolution. I'm a big believer in evolution. But all right, if we're talking about Michael Jordan, who in the NBA right now is better than Michael Jordan at the shooting guard position?
Nobody.
Mike is Mike.
Who in the 80s is better than Michael Jordan at the shooting guard position?
Nobody. Mike is Mike.
Well, then, I mean, why we using Michael Jordan? Like when I think about evolution, I'm thinking about, okay, let's talk about CJ McCollum. Mm-hmm. CJ McCollum, he never made an All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
Never made an All-Star. Hold on, let me get who is this right here? That's Jordan. I think that's Jordan.
Yeah.
Basketball's the only sport that's important. That's who that is.
Yeah. Man, get off that American online Wi-Fi, man. Put your camera on, man.
You can go on that Metro PCS shit.
Easy.
Yeah. So I think when we talking about when we talk about comparing players, I think in using a player like Jordan, and saying that he was lucky. Well, if y'all say he the best player, right, he would be the best shooting guard today, and he would be the best shooting guard in the 80s. Why are we using Michael Jordan as the example? That he had it easy. If he would be the best shooting guard today, right now, and the best shooting guard in the 80s.
I never say Jordan had it easy, but I'm saying the guard play. Mitch Richmond can't score the same way Devin Booker can. Who else you said? Joe Dumars can't score the same way Donovan Mitchell can.
So
right? He can play elite defense.
He can't score, or he wasn't asked to score at that pace.
How you figure?
I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push back on the Mitch Richmond one. I think Mitch Richmond should score like that.
I didn't even go there.
I don't know about Dumar. He probably that's just never him to be that high volume scorer dude. So I can't say that you can. But Mitch Richmond was dropping 23s like a third option.
And I ain't knocking. I'm not knocking nobody in the 90s game. I'm just telling you. If you tell them, they'll say, "Oh, well, if we had the game like how they had the game, we'll be just as good as them." I hear that, but I didn't see that from your numbers, right? Because somebody can say, "Well, you get lost in the numbers." At the end of the day, the numbers is what gets the Hall of Fame.
Just, you gotta remember, run TMC. The M was for Mitch, right?
Right.
Yeah. Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, and
Mitch Richmond was like
I ain't tripping. I know it was a three-way monster. But look, you know the Warriors had a three-way monster. Clay still averaged 21.
And Mitch Richmond actually 23
for a career. Mitch averaged like 19 for a career.
Oh, because he played longer than he should have.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking Mitch Richmond. I'm not knocking the Isaiah Riders. They could ball, but are you telling me they would be elite guards with the guards we have today?
I mean, do we say that they weren't elite in their game? See, now you playing with wordplay.
Yeah,
I'm not playing with wordplay. I'm just saying. I'm giving you guards of the 90s who were well known, guards of the 90s who people talked about. For instance, Jamal Murray will never make an All-Star game, right?
But Isaiah Rod and Jamal Murray is probably they probably on the same level, if you ask me.
You know what I'm saying? But Jamal Murray still has elite. J.R. Ryder wasn't even that good.
So if he elite,
Ryder was nice now. I ain't gonna do J.R. like that.
Yeah, I ain't knocking none of them. That's the key ingredient. When you talk about,
I agree with you when we talk about the average player. When we talk about the average player, because I do believe in like, and I'm a big if you're a basketball fan, you want the game to get better. You want evolution. Like we see kids in high school doing dunks that they probably would have won the dunk contest in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying when you talk about elite players, like it's kind of hard to say that a guy
I got a question
wouldn't be as elite today because Mitch Richmond. I think Mitch Richmond was better than Reggie Miller.
Yo, I got a question.
Mitch Richmond would get buckets today, son.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Quick question. So I know obviously y'all may have addressed it or not, but I think one variable I had left out is that the league back then, the tandem was a big man. Obviously we had elite guards, but it was more of a big man's game back then. We're more guard heavy today. We're more small ball today. So obviously there's a lot more talent, there's a lot more fluid talent, but to be able to make that kind of comparison.
He dropped them.
In the middle of his point.
Man, get off that Dr. Umar Wireless, man.
Look, I'm
not Dr. Umar Wireless.
I'm gonna piggyback off of what I think. Here, Kenny, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off what I think Jordan was aiming at. I know, so in the 90s, it was more of a big man game, right? So it's gonna be slowed down. So a lot of the numbers will be down strictly just off of pace. Mm-hmm. And as far as the average player being better, you have more perimeter players than you have post players on the floor, right? Mm-hmm. So with a perimeter-centric game now, you're focusing on more players at the same time. So it's going to require better players all around, right? Like I can get away today with having 2 elite guards, 2 defenders, and an okay post, right? In the 90s, I could have got away with having a big man and then 4 other dudes out there. Really and truly, I got somebody to get it into my big man. That's not calling the other dudes trash. It's just that's what the game required because that's how the game was played.
I agree because the Spurs didn't have elite guards.
Who can wait? What? They didn't have what?
The Spurs, Avery Johnson, Vinny Del Negro.
So Tony Parker wasn't elite.
I'm talking about Sean Elliott and them. That's two
I'm
different.
just.
So you trying to
You said Spurs. You said Spurs. You just said
yeah.
year.
So Sean Elliott, Vinny Del Negro,
Did Tony Parker
Adrian
not play for
Johnson,
the Spurs? I
they
just
play
asked
for the
the question.
Spurs.
I just asked the
No,
question.
no, I'm saying. Well, I said Vinny Del Negro. That was the first name I said. Is him and
Okay.
Tony Parker even in the same era?
See. When you had Vinny Del Negro, you had a guy by the name of David Robinson. So like Jeremy Richard was
As
saying,
I was saying,
when
so
you have a
I David
big,
Robinson. I don't
you
need
can
Vinny
kind of,
Nigga to do nothing
I don't,
special. Hey,
yeah, I
That's
don't
why I
need
was
it.
talking
you get the
about the
ball on the
Spurs
floor,
of that
you
day
dump
and
that thing
time.
down to David Robinson. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, listen. I put it like this. I think it's a different time period. Just to kind of piggyback off what Jeremy said, I think in the NBA back in the day, they valued role players. Now the role player is diminished. If you can't shoot or have a super elite skill in today's league, you kind of get left behind. We don't even hear about the 3-and-D guys anymore. Back in the day, you had a 3-and-D guy. That's what his whole contract was, to play defense and to shoot the three ball. Now they just run so many pick and rolls and get so many switches. Now the 3-and-D guy doesn't even matter. So I think it's the devaluing of the role player is what kind of sped up the evolution of the game. Of course, when we talk about evolution, just because you run faster, jump higher, does not make you a better basketball player. And see, we got to stop doing that. Just because you are a freak of nature and can get the ball off the rim and go dunk it as hard as you can, that doesn't make you a better basketball player. Yes, we have some of the greatest athletes in all sports. You can go from basketball, baseball, whatever. Every human anatomy has developed and evolved as it should, but that just doesn't mean that they become a better that to make you a better basketball player or a better football player either.
So the only thing I'm gonna say on that, I think now the superstar is more prevalent now, right? When in the 90s, I had a big man. If I was lucky to have an elite guard, like a high scoring guard, then that was great for an offense. But now I'm gonna have a superstar. Whatever position my superstar play, he gonna have the ball. I don't care if he the center. I don't care if he the power forward. He gonna have the ball, and everybody else is gonna play off of him. Which to me it ain't bad, right? I want my best player to get the ball, and teams got that from the Bulls, right? Because look, we gonna come down and we giving this thing to Mike. Wherever Mike want this ball at, Mike getting that ball at, right? We don't give a damn about no big man. We don't need no post like y'all. We got to go play all them big men y'all got. We gonna come in with just a heavy body to guard that, right? And then nonsense. You got all these bigs on the floor. We coming with Mike. Now how you gonna guard that? And I think a lot of teams saw that model start to work, got some championships out of it. So why not copy it? And now a lot of teams do that same deal. We're gonna give it to our superstar, our best player, but they wanted that, and we gonna work like that. So I think that kind of killed the role player, but also kind of boosted the role players. Right now, players have to buy into their roles sooner, or you're gonna be out the league. Right? Like if you're in a superstar, well then you better guard somebody, and you better shoot the three, or you ain't got a spot for you. Whereas in the 90s, if you couldn't shoot the three, well, I could still be a little backdoor cutter. You know what I'm saying? I can still do other little things. So I didn't have to buy into this specific model all the time. Whereas now, every team kind of got the same blueprint, and then just some tweaks based off of where my superstar played. Right? So I got the Joker in Denver. I think they probably got the best model because of where he plays and his skill. It still allows the other four on the floor to play a 90s type game. I can still move around, right? Like Aaron Gordon is not useless because where Jokic plays, Aaron Gordon doesn't have to camp on the 3-point line like other stretch fours do. I can play the dunker spot the whole game and be effective as hell. You know what I'm saying? So I think they got the best model, but a lot of coaches don't coach like that. They want to give it to the superstar. If your superstar is a guard, you can't follow that model. So.
Hey, let me hear from Nelson, and then I'm gonna come to you, Kurt, after I hear from Nelson.
All right, guys. I think one of the biggest problems with this discussion when it comes to the 90s is a term that I call proportional degree of difficulty. And by proportional degree of difficulty, I mean when you compare eras, doing a direct comparison, you're already making a fundamental mistake on how you're comparing the degree of difficulty and the quality of the play of that sport. So, for example, if I say, players can hit more threes now, so they're better, they're more skilled players. you're not looking at the degree of difficulty of what's going on in the 90s compared to what's going on now. So I'm going to make an argument. I'm going to make like a 3-part argument. With the 90s, you're seeing what I call a sweet spot balance between hyper physicality and lack of physicality. In the 80s, it was probably too physical, where it'd be bloody out there. People would be trying to basically fighting, doing no easy layup allowed rule, things like that. So it's like, no, we playing basketball. You're not in a UFC fucking fighter cage. But in the 2020s, it's gotten a lot softer, where we have flopping. We have really easy fouls that even right now, just recently in the NBA this year, refs are trying to scale back on how many fouls they're calling, because they're saying we got out of control with the goddamn fouls. And now it's making the game slow down and shitty. So my first argument is, in the 90s, that was a sweet balance between too physical and not physical enough. We were right in the middle. That was like really a sweet balance of that. Then also, when it comes to proportional degree of difficulty, I'm going to give you an example, like a 4-minute mile. The 4-minute mile was first ran in 1954. Nobody thought they could run the 4-minute mile. So if you're looking at someone now into today's current age and saying like, oh, well, let's devalue Jesse Owens or someone else who was a great track runner back then, you can't really devalue what he was doing, because in the particular degree of difficulty, what he was doing, he was battling people that were his peers. So he dominated his particular era at that time. To try to do a direct comparison of that era to this era now with higher sports technology, higher nutrition, higher things like that, it's not a direct comparison. So what you should be looking at is each era in a vacuum. Look at each era based on who are they playing against. So for example, somebody mentioned big men. So there was more big men back then that had skill and they were dominating and doing their thing. There was guys like Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, Dikembe Mutombo. Defensively, we saw a bit better big men. I mean, I would argue right now that Wemby is probably the only big man that's better than guys like Hakeem, Dikembe, and things like that as far as defensively. Gobert, some people think that he's slightly overrated. Some people think Jaren Jackson is slightly overrated. And that's when I say the degree of difficulty, I'm also talking, if you think about it like weight classes, that's another way to say it. Like, you wouldn't want a heavyweight fighting a featherweight, right? So that doesn't mean that the featherweight who fucks up all other featherweights is no longer good at what he does. Yes, that featherweight who fucks up all the featherweights is dominating his peers. So people who dominate in the 90s dominated everybody that was out there at that time. If you're trying to go to the sports science and the sports nutrition and all the other things that is going on right now and say, well, let's shit on the 90s, you're doing a direct comparison and you're fucking up fundamentally the way you compare degree of difficulty. Now, who would you say, and when I look at the defensive specialists, I'm looking at the way that the game has turned into flopping and more three-point shooting and things of that nature. Who would you say are the best defenders right now? Outside of AD, Wemby, and Draymond, I think me and Jerm were talking about this. There's not really guys that are out there that are like Gary Payton, Hakeem Olajuwon, Dennis Rodman, Ben Wallace. I would put them, I mean, I have a hard time putting Draymond ahead of a lot of them dudes. Pippen, Scottie Pippen. So I'm going to give y'all the floor for just a second to tell me who are the great defensive specialists right now that literally have locked down defense right now.
Kurt, let me help you, Kurt.
Does anybody have any? I mean,
I was waiting on no more.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. You going off?
Okay.
What I'm saying.
So what's the? I got in here late. So what's the?
Who is the lockdown defenders right now that are on the level of Hakeem Olajuwon, a guy who got 100 blocks and 200 steals in the season, Dikembe Mutombo, a multiple defensive player of the year, in the ways that people didn't say, oh, Dikembe didn't deserve it. Like when Gobert wins defensive player of the year, people go to look at the film and see Gobert getting fucking cooked.
Well, let me stop you because
Scottie Pippen.
Well, no. Let me stop you. And let's transition from just basketball. We can talk about basketball. We can talk about football. We can talk about baseball.
I haven't finished my argument, but I wanted to find
out. You asked the question, so I'm about to give you your answer.
For the NBA defensive lockdown.
No. I'm about to make a comparison.
Okay.
So you asking about NBA. just the overall transition of sports in today's world in 2024. Just the athlete period, because I think we get so caught up, and I think we get so lost in the moment trying to compare eras. You got to think about the evolution of life. Today's athletes ain't the 90s athletes. I didn't see, and not because I'm a Braun fan, but I didn't see Braun at 39 still be able to drive the lane and punch on anybody. We're not having that in the 90s. You talking about
You didn't see what?
We're not having that in the 90s.
Oh, you didn't see what? What'd you say?
I didn't see Braun at 39 still be able to drive the lane and dunk on people like he's still 26.
So you didn't see Michael Jordan cook?
We ain't seen nobody at that age. We ain't seen nobody at that age. I think that's what he's saying.
Michael Jordan cooked him at 39.
At 39, Jordan dropped 40.
I want to thank you for saying that. I want to thank you for saying that, because the 90s athletes at 38, 36, 37, 38, 39 ain't doing what today's athletes are capable of doing.
At 39, John didn't played 82 games.
Okay, I have a response to that.
Hey,
I have a response to that because there's a problem fundamentally with what you're saying.
They only had nobody else besides LeBron doing that.
So the problem with what you're saying.
So
John Stockton ain't missed a game in 12 years.
So to me,
that's where I was going.
So to me, in the 90s era, had we had more 35 plus players doing what LeBron is doing today, it wouldn't be an argument.
How many LeBrons? Hold on. How many LeBrons do we have today?
Yeah, I don't even know.
How many LeBrons do we have right now?
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm
saying.
That's
exactly what you just said.
That's not what I'm saying.
You're using an anomaly as a norm. That's
I think a good example of what you're trying to do.
Hold on real quick. Nelson, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is LeBron is an anomaly right now. But had we had more of that in the 90s, it wouldn't be a conversation.
The reason why you didn't have it in the 90s, I'm about to kill that argument, because I'm tired of hearing that argument. What you just talked about, it's called the development of technology. 200 years ago, the average human lifespan was 31 years old. So the average NBA career at that time, because they were playing in cardboard sneakers, their bodies literally couldn't continue going forward. So that's a technology thing that has nothing to do with skill level.
So why are we having a conversation?
No. I have a response to that. I have a response to that. So for my response to that, because we got away from the whole NBA defensive specialist thing, and you changed the subject. So we'll go back to that, because I had a point with that one. But to go to your point, players don't play hurt now. They don't do it. If they're 75%, 80%, they will not play. Players like Malone, MJ, Stockton, Reggie Miller, they played more than 80-plus game seasons that they did not play more than 80-plus game seasons. And me and Kenny used to go back and forth with this load management thing, and he beat me in the debate. Kenny convinced me to change my opinion. Players now we can't say that. We can't say players play more than 80 games about Harden, Kawhi, LeBron, Embiid. And the point that he got me on was fans pay hard-earned money for these tickets. Fans pay hard-earned money to go to these games. Larry Bird had a quote saying, if you are able to do your job, if you're getting paid to do your job, and you should go show up and do your fucking job. So if fans are coming to pay hard-earned money to come to these games to see these stars play, Kenny is going to be pissed off if he goes to see Kobe Bryant play Carmelo and both them niggas is load manager. You paid all that money to go on the ticket. So if you're talking
I just want to know.
I've been telling people though, that's an ownership thing, man.
I just want to know when do us as fans evolve with the time?
Hey, let me
we evolve. No, because this post right here, players are brand these days. Money is the motive. At what point do we not understand what's going on?
At what point do we start?
I think understanding social media. So when you have a player who's right now, you have social media, and I'm not going to blame social media for the evolution, but what do you do is you look at the ecosystem. Look at the ecosystem of how things evolve. Evolutionary things are affected by environmental
social media.
factors.
social media.
Let me get to my point. Let me get to my point, brother. Social media is making superstars out of mediocre niggas. That's what it's doing. Back in the day, if you wanted to be a famous NBA player, you really had to kill it. Steve Kerr or a player like that who was a specialist, who's one of the most efficient shooters in the game. Somebody tried to shout out Charles Oakley for being a star in the NBA in the 90s. That's fucking bullshit. That's cap. The stars
who's mediocre?
Hear me out. Y'all interrupted my point. Let me finish the sentence.
Because you long-winded.
But the problem is, to be good in the NBA in the 90s and to be well known and famous, you had to be the best. Mike is famous. Let me finish what I'm saying, bro.
Mike is famous.
MJ
is famous because John Paxson and Steve Kerr both hit big threes in a pivot.
Man,
that's not true. That's not true. MJ has 10 scoring titles.
Come on, man.
You got 10 scoring titles.
I'm just saying. Kyrie hit the big shot, and we gonna act like Braun, then do Braun in 7 games.
That doesn't change LeBron's overall a performance in the NBA. A good player today, a mediocre player today, can get a social media following and not really master his skill. He cannot really master to the point of a Karl Malone getting MVPs. You can't tell me that John Paxson and Steve Kerr won 10 scoring titles for Michael Jordan. You can't tell me that John Paxson and Steve Kerr got him 5 MVPs. You can't tell me that. All you're doing is pointing out, hyper-focusing on one small thing, but you're not looking at what it takes to actually be a star.
Thank you. Oakley being a star ain't no cap.
Oakley was not a star. Oakley was a role player. He was not famous. The only nigga that was famous in the 90s that didn't have that did it outside of the court with like a social media type thing was Dennis Rodman, because he wore a fucking wedding dress. Niggas nowadays could post a documentary about Jews and be more famous than they would be on the court. Social media is a whole nother animal that makes niggas not have to actually master the game. And we're talking about actual players who can do certain somebody things.
Who's mediocre but using social media for them to be a big star in the NBA? Because the defensive point, I had already answered that the other day. And I broke down that list of defensive players.
And me and Jeremy agreed that half the niggas ain't better than Hakeem. None of them niggas got more than 100 blocks, 200 steals in the season. Hakeem was a way better defender than them niggas was in the past. Dikembe Mutombo was a way better defender. Pippen was a way better defender.
See. Now you're kind of stretching a little
bit.
Gary
Payton was a way better defender.
Whenever you name
Gary Payton a way better defender than Drew Holiday.
Names on that. And I was like, I'm not gonna put Dre over them.
Yeah, you said Alonzo Mourning, and I agree with you on that one.
But to the point you
social media fan, earlier, social media fan.
When you were saying they're way better defenders than they are now, I don't know about that. I think the way you play defense is a lot different, right? Could we ask Alonzo Mourning or Mutombo, right? Could I ask Mutombo to go guard high screening roles all game?
No, you cannot.
Right,
but again, that's the
if I asked Olajuwon to do that, Olajuwon wouldn't have 3 blocks.
But we got to look at the 3-second rule,
right?
If I'm able to sit in the paint all game long, I better have 5 or 6 blocks.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't like to use stats on defense because you got to do like Draymond, who's elite.
Hey, let me ask y'all something.
Who's a better defender?
Are we really having this
conversation? Let me ask y'all something right quick. Let me ask y'all something right quick. Okay. I asked y'all earlier, would Jordan be the best shooting guard in today's league?
Yes.
Kurt, what you think? Would you say yeah or no? Would Jordan be the best shooting guard in today's league?
Look. Hell yeah, he would.
Okay, hold on.
You know why? Because
John Paxson helped him out.
Athletically, and just God-given talent. And in today's game, when everything is 1v1, Jordan will be the best shooting guard in the league.
And LeBron, he would actually be the best small forward in the 90s as well.
Sir.
Okay, so what I'm saying is,
I agree with that.
When we talking about, I'm talking about the average NBA player. I'm not talking about Jordan. I'm not talking about LeBron, because great players will be great in any era. I'm talking about, okay, I made a post, Coach. Me and you got into it about Charles Oakley, since we started talking about Charles Oakley.
Right.
I said Charles Oakley made a all-star team in the 90s. And I said earlier on the podcast, CJ McCollum never made an all-star team yet this year. I mean, in his career.
Okay.
I mean, so
Rod Strickland never made an All-Star team.
Hey, that's called being born at the
That's a
wrong
damn
time.
good point.
Just
Rod
imagine if
Strickland
you
never
just
made an
imagine if
All-Star
you
team.
was an
Rod Strickland never
NBA
made an
guard
All-Star team.
in the 90s, you would never gonna make All NBA. You had
But-
Stockton, you had Magic, you had Jordan, you had Dumont, you had Isaiah. That's called being born in the wrong time.
But
That
if you
doesn't
look
mean you're
at
not good. That just means you just was in the wrong era.
I'm saying I never said not good at all. I said the average NBA player. Okay, let's use Rod Strickland. If you line up Rod Strickland and CJ McCollum, I'm taking CJ McCollum 10 times out of 10. Is that saying Rod Strickland wasn't good in the 90s?
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
take
about
Strick.
that.
I'm gonna take Strick.
See, I think
Hey,
that's a, I
I
think
don't
that's
know.
the problem.
I don't know
Amazing,
about
and I
that.
love
I'm gonna take
CJ.
Strick.
Okay, and I think that's
I
the
think
So
Kyrie
let's
Irving-
use Jamal Murray and Rod Strickland. Who you taking? Jamal Murray or Rod Strickland?
I'm taking
Ooh.
Rod
I think
Strickland.
y'all
Right.
might be a little bit
I'm
sleep on
saying,
Rod
Taking
Strickland.
Rod
I'm
Strickland.
saying they got more average NBA players now because CJ McCollum is considered an average NBA player. I'm saying they got more average NBA players now that's better than the average NBA players in the 90s.
I say they're more. No, I say they're more
I don't know if
athletic.
that's true.
They're more
I don't look at the
athletic.
actual.
Hey, I'm gonna say what I said. I'm gonna say what I said earlier.
Let me interject real quick.
It's
What
more
makes
perimeter
CJ
centric, so
McCollum
it takes
CJ
more
McCollum?
players. So you got
What makes-
more strictly just because I need more, right?
What-
Like I
what-
need 4 out there rather than just 2. So you got more on
You got spammers and shit.
Hey,
Nah,
before we
spamming my
continue,
shit, man. Let me kick him out of here, man. Let me kick him
before we
out.
So
continue-
what do y'all think about Chris Jackson, the guy that was formerly known as Chris Jackson? He's now known as Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
He
Yo,
was
can
Mahmoud
y'all-
good.
Abdul-Rauf, was
He
he a
got
good
blackballed.
player?
He got
Oh
blackballed.
yeah, no,
He
He
got
never got an All-Star
He got
team.
blackballed out the
He
league,
definitely got
though.
blackballed.
No,
played
I'm
like
just saying
12
that I'm not saying I'm done with the 90s because that's when I started watching basketball in 1994.
Yo, can
I'm
y'all
just
hear me?
saying that I just think they got more better average players today than they had back then because of the evolution of the
But
game.
I can agree to that.
But my problem with that is like saying like that's like trying to compare a great Olympic track star from the 80s to a great Olympic
That's
track
what I'm
star to
saying.
the
So
2000s.
that
The
goes
4-minute
back to my-
mile was just discovered
Yo, can y'all hear me?
back then, so it's not saying like, oh well, niggas run so much faster now they better. No, they actually paved the way for it. So why don't we look at the actual?
But that
degree
goes
of
back to my
difficulty
original
that they
point.
had.
That goes back to my original point across all platforms of sports. At what point do we say that the debate over who has the best era is null and void? Because it's all been transition.
I look at it.
Well, I think what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to look at the competition of the peers. Like if you watch a game and you're just enjoying the game, right, and you're seeing Michael Jordan go against like Magic Johnson, you're enjoying the fact that that was a particular level of difficulty at that time. You're not gonna say like, well, let's add Kawhi to that. Cause Kawhi, like, it's fucking up the whole idea of why don't we look at what's difficult? Like how far away is the best nigga to the mid-range nigga to the low nigga?
That's what Kenny's saying.
In that particular era.
That's what Kenny's saying though. That's what Kenny's saying though. Because
I'm saying there was mediocre niggas that were amazing back then that did not get all-star teams. Rod Strickland and Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. These are dudes that played kind of like Curry and Steph back then.
But what Kenny's saying right now is exactly what you're saying. He said the average player now is better than the average player then, and you saying the degree of difficulty, kind of the
more
gap between the elite and the average, right? That's the point I always made. Whenever we talk about Mike, right? Mike the GOAT for sure, right?
Right.
In the 80s, 90s, Mike was hit, and the next person was hit. Like it was a significant gap. It wasn't even no question about it. If you put Mike today, Mike still hit. But then the next man probably hit. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
yeah,
no.
Devin Booker might be a little lower.
I don't know about that when you look at mental toughness. When you look at mental toughness, players,
come on,
still
bro.
a gap.
It's still a gap.
So okay, that's my problem with that argument. I think the NBA would be easier for Mike now because of the rules, because of the 3-point. I think he would be more of a 3-point shooter than he was in the 90s because the game was threes.
I can't
the game, but that's what I'm trying to understand. What I'm trying to say. Understand what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say you're trying to make an extrapolational jump from what the type of style of play was back then, which was transitioning from a big man game in the 80s. was transitioning from a big man's
But
game to
that's
what it is
exactly what
now
I'm
to more
saying.
of a
So
perimeter game.
Michael was so different
But
from
no,
the
hear me
time
out. Hear me
that
out.
that gap was crazy. Now,
But when it
Mike
comes to a
wouldn't
work
be
ethic
that
and figuring out how to play it within the rules, he would have been like, "Oh, okay, I see that we could be more like James Harden out here. I see
That's
we
a
can
lot
be
of
more like
ifs.
Steph out here.
Now we
He would be a 3-point shooter in the
doing a
90s.
whole lot of make believe now. We're doing a whole lot of
No,
make
we,
believe.
but
Well,
no,
no,
we're not
that's
doing
the
make
problem
believe.
with trying to compare errors. You already are doing a lot of hypotheticals.
Right.
You're already doing a lot of.
I'm
Well, if he
saying
was
that
playing now,
my
this is what he
original
would have done.
point.
now.
All I
Yeah,
know
I'm
is
saying,
all I
I'm
know
saying
is
that
an
Mike
old
is
school
still
mentality.
here. It's just that
Nelson,
everybody else is just a little
Nelson,
bit
you keep
closer.
going back to my original point.
Okay.
What are we doing?
We're doing a
Having
lot
a
of
discussion.
hypotheticals because we're trying
Called
to
sports. I don't know
we're
what
trying to
doing this
project
in.
what we think a nigga would do. All I really know is the work ethic that certain players had in the old school style. The only players that are like that now was Kobe, who we saw he passed away, rest in peace, and maybe Giannis. Giannis didn't want to.
So you don't put. So you don't. So you
none of
how
us are in the
put
practice
Bron
gym
in
with
that
them dudes.
conversation.
I don't like to say that because none of us are in the practice gym with them dudes. So we don't know.
None of them.
We don't know.
I
That.
think this whole.
Oh, come on, all right,
mastering
hey,
their
bro.
game to
I
all
think
three levels.
I think this entire
Mike and Kobe
era,
different. We talk about that, but we talk about everybody else work ethic. We not in the gym with them dudes.
we're not finna do that.
Hey, bro, but we all know what it is.
We've heard the NBA peers
Mike and
say
Kobe
that
different.
they were
Mike and
stopping
Kobe different. Mike and Kobe different, right? They got people that
we've heard NBA players say that Kobe outworked everybody. We've heard NBA players say that Michael Jordan outworked everybody.
It's some different dudes.
They must be lying.
They were just straight up.
They called them maniacs. They said they worked so hard.
Again, Mike and Kobe were the only Mike and Kobe's, though. They were the only Mike and Kobe's.
Well, we have a Giannis. We have people that actually came out of Milwaukee saying that the GM, the coaches were worried about. They couldn't even get the nigga to sub out of games because they said he was so dehydrated. He would go so hard that they were like, bro, you have to get electrolytes. He literally would fight people to get out of the gym. They were worried about the nigga working so hard because he glorified niggas like Kobe. We don't have a lot of that now. We don't have a lot of niggas who don't want to be friends.
Well,
we don't have a lot of niggas who.
You want me to tell you what these new kids? You want me to tell you who they go to is? Paul George.
Yo.
1v1. 1v1.
Hey, bro, today's age is not
and what does that say
about
about the 90s?
It's
what
not
does that say about the work ethic?
It's not about winning championships.
It's not about that no
It's
more.
about getting that bag. It's about looking fly.
It's not about
getting your flowers up.
Social
That's
media
what it's about these days.
James Harden not a social media star?
I'm gonna go on a limb, and I'm gonna say everybody on this stream right now is 35 plus, right?
Yeah.
I'm 36.
Okay.
But
So what we looking for in the game right now, we're not gonna find that
at all.
Do what?
So at some point, comparing the errors, it's null and void simply because we're not ever finding that again.
But
so
no, see,
I feel like you agreeing with me, bro.
Yeah, but see, bro.
Nelson, my original point when I first got on here was the evolution of the game.
Okay.
So when I answer Kenny and when I say, do I think MJ will be the best shooting guard right now? Yes. You know why? Because Jordan's individual game, 1v1, will be destroying all shooting guards.
Right.
1v1, there's no hand checking. There's no, I can't come and help. You got to think about the 90s game. No hand checking. You couldn't come help on a double team.
So you had to be a dog out there.
And my problem with people who say MJ wouldn't evolve when they say, "Oh, MJ playing today, it would be more like this and this and this." My problem with that
there's a big gap.
You're telling me that MJ wouldn't learn the step back three.
I don't know.
MJ
I don't know that. That's what I'm saying.
No, fuck all that. Fuck all that. Y'all making these assumptions. Jordan showed you how his game changed from when he got into the game from being a slash and dunker. He added the turnaround jumper. He added more of a mid-range game. We saw his game evolve from when he was in the game. So to think that his game wouldn't evolve now is not only just mind-boggling. It's just showing that you don't want to see it because you watched his game develop from when he came into the league. He was a dunker. He was an athlete. Then he became a scorer. Then he added more parts to his game.
The fadeaway.
If you can see his game developed from 85, 86, 87 up into the 90s, and to say now with advanced training and an AAU system and all these different advantages to his and he wouldn't change, then that means you just don't want to see him change.
No.
If you're going to say he's a mechanic,
You
what I say. If
can't
we
keep
saying
everything else that he already had that y'all saying he would
no,
have
no,
did.
yeah, he already had it. He was already a superb athlete. He could already
No,
run and
I
jump.
got
He
that.
could already
I'm not saying
attack the
that. I'm
rim.
not saying
He could
that.
already
Yeah,
no.
that's
Listen, what I'm saying.
wrong.
Those
I'm
things were
saying
already a part of his game. He was
if
already a
he's
high
gonna be the
flower.
James Harden dude, if he gonna be James
Brother,
Harden, he gonna be James
big
Harden.
brother.
But
No,
then
he
he's not
not.
gonna
Even
be
colder
Kobe.
than James
We
Harden.
never said
That's
he
two
was gonna be
whole
James
different
Harden.
things.
See, no,
He's not gonna
no.
learn to
You're
be
trying to make a
everybody.
Decepticon. You're trying to merge a Decepticon. We're saying that Jordan was already a high flower. He was already athletic as hell. He was already could attack the rim. He was
Stronger.
already a
I'm not
defender.
taking that away
Now
from him. I'm not
all
taking
we're
that away from him.
saying, big brother, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. You're listening to respond, not to comprehend. That's what we going back and forth
No,
right here. Listen what I'm saying.
I'm listening.
If he already had that part of his game, all he would have to do is pick up a step back. All he would have to do is take more than 1.2 3-pointers a game. Think about it. He took 1.2 3-pointers a game. If he just takes 5 a game, that's not changing his game. That's just evolving with the time. If he does 3 steps backs instead of a fall away J, that's not changing his game. That's just
So look,
evolving with the time.
so
If
look,
he
So,
Chris.
so
just
you,
does a
So
euro,
look,
that's not
so look,
changing
so
his game. That's
you know
evolving.
the
look,
perfect example of that right now is
Jesus.
in today's game. And like I said, I'm a Braun fan. I'm a Braun stan. The perfect example of that right now is LeBron shooting
Test,
over
test. Can y'all hear me?
from the three.
What,
that's
LeBron
good.
hitting threes and stuff now?
Look,
Hey,
hold
so
on.
No,
let me hear
it
from
ain't that
Cliff.
he hitting. It ain't that he
Yeah,
hitting
he's
threes.
shooting at a higher clip. He's shooting a higher
So you
percentage
have to
of three pointers.
evolve with the game.
Correct.
Hey,
And
let
I,
me
So
hear
and I
from
and I
Cliff.
know
this
that
is what I'm
Arthur Porter
saying to you.
proved
Hold on,
that
hold on, hold on, hold on,
he's
hold on,
able
hold
to
on.
evolve.
We
He
talking
has
about
an
hold on.
adaptability.
You're
So that's the
using the
problem.
example of LeBron evolving, right? LeBron came in the 2000s, so the game was already different in the 2000s. So he
Correct.
evolved from that point. We talking about Mike evolving from the 80s. Mike he grew up in the 70s.
Yes, that's
So you
easier.
talking
It
about
would be
We
hold
got
easier.
the
so you
Jordan
talking about Mike
we got the Jordan
adapting
rules.
to
Hey,
We got the
bro.
22
Jordan
is
rules for a
using
reason.
50 years of evolution. The man he wouldn't have
No,
had what the
bro.
70s had. He
No,
wouldn't have had what the 80s had.
No, because we saw him
no,
cooking
bro.
people in the
Today, you
2000s.
No,
making
We
him
saw him
no,
born
cooking
when we was
peers.
born.
brother.
You make hold on.
Jerm, you
No, I'm
acting
saying
like he's gonna step into a time machine and just pop up in this age. He would have to be born in this era. He would
Right.
still be
so.
running
If he
fast.
was
He would
born in
still
this
be
era,
jumping high. Would he still
so
be running fast and jumping high?
cool. Jay, listen what I'm saying, cool. Jay, listen what I'm saying, cool. Jay,
Why we
hold
got
on.
the
Jay,
Jordan
listen what I'm saying,
rules
cool.
then?
If he was born when we were born, he was the same age as us. He grew up watching Iverson. He grew up watching some hot sauce, all them. He coming in with that. He not coming in watching Dr. J, George Jervin, all them other dudes. So he
So
not
do
gonna
we
be playing the
do we
same
Would
say
he
way.
still
okay?
be
I got a
able
question
to
for
run
John. I got a
fast
Okay,
question
and
for
real
John.
jump?
quick, real quick,
Dude that he
real quick,
was when he came in.
We'll let
real
him
quick.
go. We'll let him
So
go.
saying that, do we think so? If Jordan would have came up when we came up, do you still think Jordan gonna be the same player?
Absolutely. Why?
He'll be the
Why
same
wouldn't he?
athlete. He'll be the same athlete. He'll be
Who
the
is the
same
most mentally
athlete.
tough player
Yes.
right now?
He'll be
Can
the
somebody
same
tell me
How
that?
can
Kurt,
you
athlete.
how can
let
you
Who's
me
the
say
most
what
mentally
mentally
hold on,
tough
tough
player?
player right
hold
Cliff,
on,
now?
do you sit
hold
in the
on.
locker room with
Let me
them?
get it real quick. Let me get it real
Cliff,
quick.
do you sit in the
My
locker room with
my
them? I
quick
can't
question.
tell you if they're mentally tough or not. How
My
can
my,
we
my
say the players of now can't go play back in the old day? How
so
can we
what
say
what
they
I'm
can't?
No,
reason
no, I'm
reason
They
why
would
asking
have had
hold
to
on.
right
grow up
now
in
in the
that.
game right now. Who would you
Because
say is the
that's the
most
game and the
mentally
era
tough
we're in
player?
right now. So
Just
they
give
would
me
have
one
grew up in
guy.
the
Just give
era.
me one guy though. Who do you think is the most mentally tough? Because I thought it was Kobe
How can I
before
tell
he
you who
died.
mentally
You
tough?
know who
I
I
ain't
say?
played that
You
Oh,
know
long.
who
come
I
on,
say
man.
it
Let's
is?
stop the bullshit.
Just give me
You know who I
one
say
Oh,
it
player.
is?
Just give me one player who you think has mental resilience.
Hey,
Can
let me
Kobe
hear.
Kyrie
or
Hey,
Irving.
hey, hold
Brad
on,
You're
y'all.
Murray?
Hey,
saying
hold
some
on. Hey,
Kyrie
hey,
Irving.
hey, hold
I
on. Let
agree
me hear
with
from
that.
Jordan. Let me hear from Jordan.
Kyrie Irving.
Hey, let me hear from Jordan. Let me hear from Jordan. Let me hear from
So
Jordan. What you
we
gotta say,
really
Jordan?
asking the question. Let's start here. Kobe literally paid homage to Jordan umpteen times about his mentality, how much he's learned from the game, how Jordan studied the game, how he prepared everything. And you mean to tell me, with the load management players of today, them complaining about stopping the season or shortening the season, and players back then literally fighting through pain injury to play would not be adequate enough or would not be equipped enough to handle today's game with less defense. The lane open up. Luca said that he saw from his rookie year how easy it was to score in the league. Where overseas they drum and beat fundamentals into you. That's why everybody that comes to the league from overseas is an animal across the board as far as fundamentals are concerned. So you mean to tell me,
Not
like
everyone.
Coach, hold on, majority, I'm gonna say majority, like Coach said earlier, just because you're athletic or you can run fast, all of a sudden you're great. But we're talking about a guy who studied the game, whose mentality was top tier, who literally was on top of his teammates, who pushed everybody to be great. And you mean to tell me he wouldn't play in today's day and game with load management, less defense, a defensive 3 seconds, and the lane opening up? We have to stop that, dog. And also who took pride on the other side of the ball with defense. I mean,
Thank
listen,
you.
I'm not one
Intoler.
of listen, I'm not one of those guys that only tries to hold on to the past. I want to be very clear. I'm trying to be neutral. But with everything that we've seen, with all the stories that we've heard, with Kobe himself on his dying deathbed, well, not his dying deathbed, but y'all know what I mean, saying everything that he learned from MJ, as much as he talked to MJ, and we talked about how he developed my mentality in lieu of that. We're gonna really sit here and say that what would Jordan be today, just because we see the athleticism as well as the skill set today. Like, we just have to stop that, dog. That's all. That's
Listen,
all I'm
So
gonna say.
Jordan, let me ask you: do you not hear the same players of? Do you not hear the same players of today saying the same thing about Bron?
hell nah.
What?
Hell
Hell no.
nah.
Wait, hold on. Let Jordan
What?
answer. Let Jordan answer.
All right, I'm
Why-
my bad.
why-
I ain't
where-
gonna say the question.
I want to know what y'all algorithms on YouTube look like, because the same players of today are saying the same thing about Bron.
You just said everybody's gold is PG-13. So how can they have that much admiration for LeBron, but their gold is
Hey,
PG-13?
that's totally fine about being the GOAT. I'm talking about the players that are playing with LeBron James on the court right now or saying the same exact thing. I ain't talking about kids who ain't been on the court with LeBron. Because
No,
we
no.
ain't,
Say what you're
because the
saying.
same players
Okay,
of
LeBron
today.
is the greatest
Hold on,
player.
hold on, hold on,
Ain't
hold on,
nobody
hold
scared
on,
of
hold
LeBron,
I think you're talking about the work
hold
ethic.
on. Because the same players of today
DeMar DeRozan
weren't
definitely
on the
scared of
court
LeBron.
with Jordan.
Who's scared of LeBron?
DeMar DeRozan.
There's a lot.
No,
That's who you
LeBron.
pick.
LeBron
That's
is
who you pick.
LeBron is the
That's who
greatest
you
player
pick.
right now.
He a
Look,
Hall of
that's who
Famer
y'all
though,
pick.
ain't
Right now.
he? He gonna be a Hall of Famer, ain't
But
he?
we have
DeMar
stars
DeRozan
like
gonna be a Hall
James
of Famer.
Harden who are
No.
okay with not winning. We
I
have
didn't
stars
say that.
today like
I'm
that
not
are
gonna
bigger
say that
on
my
their
team will
fast
not win.
that are
Are we
more
gonna,
involved in
how we
fasting
know
and
that man
social
is a
media
heel
than they are
team?
with winning.
Was
A
Allen
player,
Iverson scared
a
of
player like
Jordan?
James Harden with his
I just want
mentality.
to say it's
Was
crazy.
Allen Iverson scared of Jordan?
It's crazy that we're gonna
Was
acknowledge.
Allen Iverson scared of Jordan?
It's crazy that we're gonna acknowledge the players of the past to say what they say about MJ, and that's cool. But
And I acknowledge
we're gonna
LeBron.
forget, and we're gonna
Kurt,
ignore everything that the players of the present say
Was
about
Allen
LeBron.
Kurt,
Iverson scared
Son,
of
they
LeBron?
talk about LeBron's mentality. They talk about how he remembers every play of the game. They
Absolutely.
talk about how he gets everybody involved. Nobody has ever said, "Man, LeBron is a
You
fucking
gonna
killer."
follow
Man,
him
we
for being
can't
a
be.
past first player?
Did I say he? Did I fault him?
That's his
Hey, brother,
mentality.
let's
Hold on, Cole.
calm down. We get your
Hold on.
you get
That
your
man,
panties
that
in the
man
bunch,
is
my
leading.
brother.
That man is leading.
Fella,
That man is
you
the
getting your
all
panties
time.
in the bunch, fella. I didn't say nothing bad about him. Calm down. I didn't say
He's
nothing
the
bad
all
about you.
time. He's the all time leading scorer in the
Right.
NBA,
All right.
and he's a past first player.
Hey, that's a myth.
All right,
That's a myth.
congratulations.
That's a
Yeah,
myth.
that's a
Congratulations. I said nothing.
Go ahead.
I said
How's that
nothing
a
bad
myth?
about him.
LeBron is a
All I
scorer
said,
that's a great passer. He's not a pass first player like Chris Paul, like Rajon Rondo, like
Look,
John
but
Stockton, like Jason Kidd.
we
LeBron
getting
being a
off the
pass first
subject
player,
off
that's
that.
a myth.
That's
I
a
agree.
we
I
side
agree.
railing on that. That's going off on a tangent because I said nothing bad about him being a pass first player. I said nothing about that. I don't know why you came out of there with that. All I said was everybody praises his passing, everybody praises his mental acuity, everybody praises his mind for the game, but no one says, man, I'm scared to play against LeBron. Man, when the game's on the line, man, LeBron brings fear into people's heart. Nobody says that. I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's not an all-time great. I'm not saying he's not a top 5 player of all time, which he is. All I'm saying is folks are just not scared of LeBron. That's all I'm saying. Niggas
His
were
killer
scared of
mentality
Jordan,
Hey,
bro.
I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this
if
on
you were
that.
playing
I don't
football,
think
Boys
niggas
were
willing to say.
scared, man.
if you were
Hey,
playing
Flo, I
football,
think niggas just ain't willing to say.
if you were playing
nowadays.
football,
They
if
gonna
you were
fire
playing
your ass
football
if
right
you
now,
say nowadays.
if
You
you
know what I'm
Bro,
saying? I think
people
after
were
LeBron
losing
retire, you
games
gonna have
on
more.
purpose
You gonna have
to
more
play the
people
Lakers
out
in the
here
first
crying
round.
if you were
how they
playing
felt about
football
LeBron
right
after
now,
he retired.
if you were playing football right now, who are you scared of? Tom Brady or Peyton Manning?
football is trash,
Brady.
first of all, so we're not
Brady.
even about to bring that up.
Who?
It's gonna be
Hey
Brady.
man,
Football.
hey man,
I say
hey man,
Peyton.
You scared of
Hold,
Peyton?
hold on, hold on,
Yeah,
hold
either
on,
Hold
hold
on,
one.
on.
hold on. You
I
scared of
say
No,
Peyton?
Brady.
no.
said
Hold on.
Brady had the killer
No,
instinct.
Y'all said y'all scared of
no,
Peyton,
no,
right?
I gotta
said
jump in.
Brady.
I
I
gotta
said
jump in. I
Brady.
gotta jump in.
Who-
I gotta
who
jump
said
in. I
y'all
gotta
scared of
jump in.
Peyton?
I gotta jump
because
in.
he doesn't care
Hey,
nothing about
hey,
football.
well, exactly. I'm about to jump in. We gonna stop that shit right now.
No,
We ain't about to
no,
do
we're
that.
not gonna stop that.
We not
We
about to do
gonna
that.
come to
No,
my
we can
world,
keep it
football.
NBA though. We can keep
We're
it
gonna
NBA.
come to my world. We're gonna come to my world in football.
What about Game 6 LeBron versus Celtics?
We're gonna come.
What about
Thank you.
LeBron on a 3-1 comeback against the Warriors?
Bro,
Thank
you
you.
keep you
So
saying
he
Who
what
are
does
did I
you
have a
say?
scared
killer
of?
mentality. He
Jesus
does have a
Christ.
killer mentality.
What does that have to
Hold
do
on,
with people not being scared of him? I didn't say he
coach,
didn't have
coach,
great
coach.
players.
Well,
I
Let me
didn't
ask
say
coach.
he had
Let me.
great
it's not like
players.
MJ and
I think when
Kobe.
LeBron retired,
Dudes
and
were
people talk
losing.
about him in the
Hey,
past, then people gonna be
People,
honest about how they
no,
feel.
no.
Right now,
People
they're not gonna
literally
say
were
they were
losing
fat ass.
games for playoff seeding so they could match up with the Lakers. I'm a Laker fan, so I heard motherfuckers saying we lose games to match up with the Lakers because they wasn't scared of the Lakers and AD. Because Lakers and AD can go off if we have a better team. Boys was losing games to match up with the Lakers because they felt they had a better shot than playing the Warriors or the Nuggets. I'm a Lakers fan. That's reports. So if guys are willing to lose games to play you, how they feel? That's all I'm saying.
Want to play the Lakers.
He went to 9 straight finals and they not scared of him.
And they won 4 of
he
them.
was also playing in
And
the
he won
East.
4.
He went to 9 straight.
And he won. And I got invited to a girl house and I didn't hit, but I got invited. I
Yeah,
got
and
invited.
4 times you did. So 4 out of 9 you did.
And I still
Other
losing
people
40.
can't say that. How many people can
40%.
say they went 9
Yeah,
times?
It
How many people can say they got 4
LeBron is a
rings?
killer,
Hey,
bro.
bro.
I
How many people
gotta
can say?
admit, LeBron is
How
a
many
killer though.
people
Bro,
can say I
you're
went 9
saying
times
he's a
straight and I
killer.
won
I
4
didn't say he
times?
was. I said
You
people not
can't
scared
win
of
every
him.
It's just a
time.
different kind of
Hey,
killer
You
than
can't
the
win
brother
every
if
time.
I
is.
beat,
You supposed
Man.
to win
if
every
I
time.
beat,
Hey,
if
hey,
I beat, if I
I'm
beat
just trying to
Hey,
folks,
John.
if
understand it.
I
Hey,
beat
Hey,
folks
Listen,
times out of 9,
Kenny.
I
hey,
won.
hey.
If
listen.
Let
If
me
you
ask
went
you.
Kenny, you see
9
Coach,
how the
straight times and
conversation
then you
changes?
lost 5 times to
Right.
great players,
if
Kenny.
I
you
beat
9 straight
lose
folks
is crazy.
times
twice.
Kenny,
out of
you
9,
see how
I
people change the
won.
situation? You see how people
I'm
coach,
not
change the
changing. I'm asking
conversation?
coach,
you a question.
You
coach,
see
You
how the
said
coach.
people
conversation
not scared
changes?
of him.
Yeah, we need
I
to
said
take
When
one exact
this
thing.
for
Oh,
all.
he's a great player. He had
Hey,
this series.
that's
I
not what
never
I
said
can,
nothing
said.
about
can
that.
I
I
ask
That's
get
not
coach?
what
what I
you're saying,
said.
Coach. I get
You
what you're
said
saying, Coach.
people.
Listen,
What you're
You
listen.
saying
said
is
people weren't scared of LeBron, right?
That's all I said. That's it.
He went to
That
9
period.
straight finals and people not
Oh
scared of him.
God, Jesus
Hey, listen.
Christ.
Let me ask coach a
That
question.
don't matter. What are we
We hear
Hey,
doing?
we
Jay. Hey, was
we hear
he
KG say it all
still?
the time. We hear KG say it all the time with Isaiah Rodgers' story. Always comes out and many other stories that you don't talk to Jordan. Like this is
Don't
what
talk to
coach is
him.
talking about. Coach literally said, or what was it? Oh, KG literally said that Isaiah was busting Jordan. He started talking shit. And Isaiah looked at Jordan and was like, he don't know any better, Jay. He don't know any better. Cut him some slack. And Jordan, they said Jordan went off the rest of the game. We're waiting. There's still time. There's still time. But we have yet in 20 years to hear one story like that. That's all the coach is saying about
And
LeBron.
that's
And
all I'm
nobody's
saying.
taking away from nobody is taking away from his talent. Nobody's taking away from his skill set, what he has accomplished and what he has done. That's what people are saying. The Denver Nuggets are sitting here basically was clapping at going at the Lakers and sitting here and, basically, and showcasing how easy it was in a sense. That's all coach is saying. Now, when Jordan had his figures and his players in place, Jordan was not like that, dog. So that's
Well,
all he's saying.
the Denver
That's
Nuggets.
it. That's
I'm gonna
it.
stop you on it. I'm gonna stop you on that Nuggets talk because AD act like he can't play basketball when it comes to Joker.
And
Yeah.
salute everybody.
that's another example. But
Hey, hey,
let
hey,
me give you three
hey,
players.
Act
Let me
like
give
he
you three
can't play
players.
hold
basketball
on,
when
hey,
it
hold
comes
on,
to
hold
Joker.
on, hey, hold on. We got a special. I got here from my dog Sturdy. He joining the chat. What's
And
up,
then
Sturdy?
Kenny, you might want to move on because it's a 45 minutes on and turn into a Brian versus Jordan, unfortunately.
Hey, I
No,
was trying to
Hey,
keep
this
it.
is a good
no,
debate.
no,
This is a
Jay,
good debate.
I
Jay.
even said,
No,
let's take Brian and Jordan out the equation. I even said
Didn't say that.
that. The
I
boys
know.
still got no Brian versus Jordan.
I heard
no,
you say
Jay.
it, bro.
I'm just joined.
No, Jay. I've been listening to the show since the beginning. I'm gonna try to end it with this. In general, in general, like the quote unquote fear label, LeBron's got that from plenty of his peers too, just like Jordan. Al Horford,
Sturdy.
Kendrick
Before
Perkins. Hold on.
no,
Jay,
before
I
before
know.
before you continue, I just want to thank you for blessing us with your presence, Mr. Immortal. That's all, dog.
Hey man, hey man, be vegan, have clean diet, exercise, you'll live forever. But anyway, in regards to this though, like there's been plenty of peers who had that same sentiment about Jordan as they did about LeBron.
Right.
Al Horford, Kendrick Perkins, DeMar DeRozan,
You
PG
mentioned
13.
Kendrick
Matter of
Perkins,
fact,
dog.
there's literally no. Oh well, no. I'm saying as much if you can mention other guys of Jordan peers who was his fans
like Isaiah Ryder, like KG, why can't I do the same thing for LeBron? So
I'm
my
just a Hall
thing
of
is,
Famer. I was Hall of
I just
Famers. You
look.
listening to Scrubs? I'm just
All,
saying.
all I'm saying, you said you can't Kendrick Perkins, sir. That's all I said. I
But
said
what,
you.
what about
I
the
know.
what about the
That man
defensive
gonna
side of the
We
fuck
ball?
gonna damn play
Can
them
I
in
ask y'all about
game.
the defensive side of the
Kendrick
No.
ball?
Well, I just want to finish my point. So
I know. I'm
the
not
point
with you.
is, all these guys, these are ultra competitors, all time greats. They were all quote unquote feared, or their game was respected, especially in those waning moments. There's videos of it. There's literally an hour and a half video on YouTube of players saying they quote unquote feared LeBron. Same thing for Jordan. So it's not really, there is no psychological effect in
It's
regards to
not.
basketball, especially
Thank you.
like it's not that much. It's not really that much special. To be honest with you, yes, simply put, all time great players have that dog in them. All time great players have that level of delusion
Thank you.
of grandeur, of greatness that's going to make them compete at a high level. So it's not really a mental edge. It just simply put, because as much as players respected Jordan, they also beat Jordan. Same thing for Vice or for LeBron and any other great player during their era. So
But you
it's
know what
just
I
it's a mute
respect
point.
They
about
just ain't beat
you know what I
Jordan in the
respect
finals,
about
but I feel
LeBron
you.
though. What I
I
respect.
know, but the 12 games before the finals, the 10 games before the finals, yeah, those matter too.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
they
But
do.
like,
But
let's look at when
when he
LeBron
got
shut
there, he
down
made it
Derrick
happen.
Rose, right? LeBron said, "Hey, on the defensive end, I'm going to take the assignment and I'm going to guard Derrick Rose." This is prime LeBron. Everybody thought that was a huge deal. This dude, he took pride in the defensive end. Now, at some point in his career, I'm going to give LeBron his props and his respect for that. But at some point in his career, his physical health and longevity became the priority, and focusing and taking pride on the defensive end became more reduced to like chase down blocks, things of that nature. Now with Michael Jordan at 38, 39 years old, you can look this up. Latrell Sprewell, Paul Pierce, Vince
That was the
Carter.
position he played.
This is
That
the
was the position
Wizards.
he
This is
played.
the Wizards Michael Jordan.
That was
He
the
fucked
position he
them
played.
up both on the
Locking shit
offensive
up.
and defensive side of the ball.
Locking shit
He
up.
sacrificed longevity to still take pride on the defensive end to the end, because like Kobe's mentality, who had like I think 9 defensive all defensive teams, they said, I don't give a fuck. I'm beating you on both sides of the ball because there's no, I'm not gonna give you an inch. If I give you an inch, you're gonna take a mile. Now in today's day and age, the taking pride on the defensive end is not like that no more. The level of physicality is not like that, and y'all can go to YouTube and see it. I'm talking about
to your point, Nelson.
Jordan shut them down to 0 points in an entire half.
Well,
These are players that were in their prime, superstar players, and this is Wizards Michael Jordan on fucking alcohol and cigars. He shut them down to 0 points entire halves, and you can look it up. Anybody that says cap, please look it up.
To your point, real quick. Okay, with MJ, you draft a Scottie Pippen who understanding. I'm going to come in. I'm going to play second fiddle. I'm going to just play defense. I'm not looking to just really score. Compare that to today's game. You get kids who are literally drafted knowing they're not going to get nothing but 5 shots a game. You're going to come in and you're going to play defense. So Braun ain't got to play defense.
Okay, that's been the NBA since its inception, guy.
I'm not understanding.
No, Scottie Pippen first came into the league soft-minded. He came into the league worried about concussions. No, I'm telling you the truth.
First of all, Scottie Pippen first got
you get drafted. So if I'm Scottie, right? Forget being soft-minded. If I'm Scottie Pippen, I get drafted to a team where Larry Bird has deemed this man the Black Jesus of basketball. You don't think I'm coming into that situation knowing that I'm not doing nothing but doing what I need to do to make sure he can continue to be the Black Jesus of basketball?
Of course.
No, you coming on sitting on the bench because you're coming from Central
stats.
Arkansas Tech, and you're gonna sit the bench for a
Yeah,
couple years. You're just trying to hold on. You're not even worried about playing.
Jordan, real quick.
Jordan,
to that point, we're not gonna act like that same Scottie Pippen still took the Bulls to the Eastern Conference Finals when Jordan retired the first.
Of course, this is after.
We gonna act like Scottie can't ball.
They went to the
second. And let me pass the big ass bump on his head against the.
And let me stop you because I committed because out of high school I signed to the University of Central Arkansas out of high school to play football. So we finna act like Scottie wasn't Scottie coming out of Central Arkansas.
He wasn't, because there's a playoff series where he scored 2 points and Jordan scored 50. What he was still Scotty then?
I'm not here to score. I'm not here to score 20.
No, you said
I'm not here to score 20.
No, hold on now, my
But
guy.
I can't. I got that in my bag. I got that in my bag.
Then why you didn't use it? Then why you didn't use it when we lost?
Hey,
I got that in my
Then
bag.
why you didn't use it? Then why you didn't use it?
Say he definitely got better Jordan.
I'm not here to score 20 though.
So just lose.
Did Jordan make Scotty better? Did Phil Jackson make Scotty better?
No, Nelson, hold on. So I'm not here to score 20, so just sit back and just lose. And don't help my team then. If I can score 20, if I can score 20, no. So you're telling me Scotty winning rings. Hold on, brother.
When did Jordan start winning rings?
You want to listen now? You just told me. When did Jordan start winning rings? Just because you say the question over and over, that don't compel me to do anything. You just said Scottie Pippen had it in his bag and he could do it. Then why did Jordan score 50 in a game and Scottie Pippen didn't score?
I don't need
but 3-4 put. They lost.
I'm here to play on the perimeter. I'm here to play on the perimeter.
So don't help my team. So don't help my team win.
I'm here to play. So him playing on the perimeter.
Next question. Hey, Kenny, next question.
So can we say that players
playing on the perimeter didn't help the team? That's all I want to know.
Hey, next topic.
Players in I want to say this. Players today are like J. Cole. Players in the 90s were like Kendrick Lamar. We can move on.
Next topic.
I just want to say that. Like that's not true. Like this is weird.
Watch your mouth about my boy because we're gonna start a whole nother conversation. Watch your tongue about my boy. We're gonna start a whole nother conversation.
No, I just want to say this. The mentality of players isn't as drastic as people want to say. All these players in any era. No. I know. It's well. It's not the Jordan LeBron thing. It's just in general because like the topic of the video, right? Players today aren't less competitive than players of yesterday. They're not. It's just different standards than what they grew up. So in regards to this, I'm getting to it. So for I'm literally about to get to it. So for example, I wouldn't say the guys in the 90s weren't highly competitive because they were going out dinner dates and golf dates prior towards playoff games. Like Jordan with Oakley, Jordan with Danny Ainge, Jordan with Charles Barkley. I'm not going to say those guys weren't competitive because they were friends. It's the same thing with guys like LeBron and KD today or any other player that's just friends. You can still be friends and still compete at a high level.
All right.
Yeah, I don't.
Next topic, man. Like, I tried to still with Jordan and LeBron. Y'all still brought it in, man. That's crazy. Hey,
I told you that, Kenny.
I want to.
Hey, this all started because Nelson X was defensive list and nobody gave that list.
Now I gave him a list already.
I was trying.
I ain't gave him a whole list.
Hey,
nobody gave a list.
Actual NBA playoffs and play games, bro. I want to put these two.
I want actually to go to women's basketball before we jumped on that.
I don't know nothing about women's basketball. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all should do that one last.
All right, well, never mind. Continue on, Kenny. My bad. Continue on, brother.
So I want to put these two topics together: the All NBA teams and the playoffs. If y'all doing your All NBA teams right now, we're gonna start off at the third team. If y'all doing your All NBA team right now, let me start off with you, Jerm. Who would be on the third team? All NBA.
Third team.
The third team.
Third team. I'm gonna go. Man, it's going backwards. I'm gonna go probably Curry, Bron, PG, maybe. Maybe like a Sabonis or Fox.
That's 5 right there.
That's 5?
Yeah, that's 5 right there. You said Sabonis or Fox or Sabonis
and Fox. Okay.
Sabonis and okay, that's 5 right there.
Let me ask you something sturdy. Will LeBron and AD both make the all NBA team this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
They both play over 65 games. They both produce at a high level. They're gonna make it.
Okay. So I'm gonna come back to you, Jerm. Who will be on your All NBA? Who will be on your All NBA first team?
On my first team? First team: Jokic, Giannis, Luka, SGA, Tatum.
Yeah,
I disagree.
On my second team, Brunson, AD, Kawhi, KD, probably Book.
No Brunson?
I say
He
Brunson.
said
Wow.
Brunson.
He
He
got it. He
said
said
Brunson.
Oh,
He
you
Brunson.
said
said
Brunson.
first team? Oh, my bad. I
He
apologize.
said on second team.
No, he
He
said
said
second
Brunson
I
team.
for
He
second.
apologize.
got Tatum. He got Tatum on the first team.
I
He
think
said
y'all
Brunson
just
for second
disagree and
team.
argue with
Yeah.
each other.
Okay, my bad.
Hey, Nelson, why you disagree with his first team?
I disagree with the first team because I agree with you, Kenny. I don't think Tatum is first team. I think
Man,
it's
y'all
Brunson.
smoking dope. Y'all
It's
smoking.
Brunson. I'll
Take
tell
Tatum
you my
off the team.
teams right here. I think
Y'all
Greg Daddy
smoking
Boy got him good in the group. He posted this in the group. You got Luca, SGA, Brunson, Ant-Man, and Jokic.
I
What?
forgot.
It's
I forgot.
positionless. It's
I
You got
positionless.
Ant Man.
I forgot.
No, but like,
Second team
go
is
ahead.
Ain't
Tatum,
on second team. Ain't on second team.
Greek, KD, Jaylen Brown, and AD.
Jaylen Brown.
LeBron's not making the third team.
I forgot
LeBron's not
about
making the third team, and I don't have Rudy Gobert on the third team either. That's why I disagree with them. I got Maxey, Kyrie.
Maxey.
Yeah, Maxey. You better look him up. Kyrie,
Kyrie not
Booker.
qualified.
Bro,
Kyrie
he not
not
qualified.
gonna qualify.
Can't
He
put
not
him
gonna
up.
qualify.
Okay, if I can't put Kyrie, I'm gonna put Booker, Kawhi, and then I guess Rudy will make it, but I'm gonna have Wemby on my third team. I think Wemby.
Before the next person goes,
Wemby
I'm glad
statistically,
I'm
Wemby
glad Booker and
statistically has
KD
done shit that we have never seen.
I'm glad Booker and KD made these all NBA teams because I read in our group chat, our group post, that KD and Booker is the best tandem since Shaq and Kobe. I don't know if y'all remember
Oh
reading
hell
that.
no,
But I just
hell
I
no.
remember reading that. So I'm glad that Booker
Oh
and KD were able to
man.
make this because
KD
I
and
literally
Steph.
read that
That's
KD and
crazy.
Steph. I'm taking KD and
KD and
Steph.
Booker were the best tandem since Shaq and Kobe. But y'all continue,
Yeah,
fellas.
that's going too far. That's going
I
too
wouldn't say
far. But
that's
they
not.
are in
No,
the
that's
playoffs in the West, and we
That's
gotta
that.
admit that the West is a little bit tougher than the East right now when it
I'm
comes to the
taking
seeding
I'm taking
and the
KD and
teams in the
Steph.
playoffs. It's a tighter race because in the East it's the Celtics, and then it's nobody. It's like literally everybody else. In the West, it's like everybody's 2 to 3 games apart on the seeding.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
East been dealing with injuries this year.
Coach, you got a strong opinion about this list. I want to hear your opinion, Coach. What's going on?
Nah, listen, I just honestly feel how can you have the best basketball team in the league that has been dominant? Like, I'm a Laker fan. I can't stand the Celtics. I fucking hate the Celtics. I spell it with a lowercase c. But they've had more. This is a little stat. They have won more games by 20 points than any other team in the last 5 years.
Right.
Yeah,
They've been the most dominant team in the
Kenny,
NBA.
do you want to
They
answer that
are,
one?
and they are led by Jason Tatum. So how can he
yeah.
not be on
And
the
they
Kenny,
like
do
first
you
team?
want to
6 and
answer
7.
It's
that
not
one
that
while
you can't
Brunson
do
is
that.
over?
Well,
Because
Coach, so
I got an answer.
do you
Listen,
think AD and LeBron both deserve to be on the All NBA team?
hey son, they're playing phenomenal basketball. I'm not saying they got to be both on the first team. I'm not
No,
saying
no,
that.
I'm
On
saying, do you think AD and Brian do they deserve to be on the All NBA team?
Yes. Like I'm saying, they're both playing phenomenal basketball, bro. Phenomenal. Like you can't listen. And I get it. Winning should
Based
matter
on
when it
numbers.
comes to certain metrics. But when it comes to the All NBA team, this is just me. Don't get mad at me because I have a bad team or a bad record. What I individually do, that shit has to be highlighted. That has to get love.
You just made an argument for Jalen Brunson to be on the
But
first team.
hold on.
No.
You
Second
just
team.
made an
Second
argument for
team.
Jalen Brunson to be on the first team.
How
He
did I make
didn't because
how did I make
the
an
Lakers
argument
and
for
the
him to
Knicks
be on the
record
first
ain't even
team?
that much crazier. The Knicks just in the East.
All I
I'm
said
saying he just
You
made
know
an
what I'm
argument for
I
Jalen
didn't.
Brunson to be on the first team, though.
How did I make an
You
argument for
said
Jalen Brunson to be on
LeBron
the
and
team?
AD playing phenomenal basketball, so they deserve
Okay.
So
to
was
be on the
Tatum.
All NBA
But
They
team.
don't punish them for
they
cheating.
should deserve to be on the All NBA team. I didn't say they deserve to be on the
Lakers.
All NBA first team.
No, hold
I
on,
didn't
hold
say.
No,
on, hold
yeah,
on.
that's
Hold
what
on,
we
no,
talk
no, no,
about.
no, no,
That's what we
no,
talk about.
no.
I'm
That's
not
not
talking
what I
about. Hold
said.
on. Wait,
I
It could be
said
third
they
team. It
des-
could be third team. It don't
That's what
matter.
I'm saying. That's what I
That's what
said.
they
They
make it there.
deserve to
What we're
be
saying
on
is
the
that you can't
team.
use team record for Tatum and then say team record doesn't count for Bron.
Listen what I said. I said you can have a leader of a team that has the best record, that is the most dominant, and clearly the best team throughout the season. Let's be honest. The Boston Celtics were the most consistent, the most dominant, and the best team in the regular season throughout,
I
for
agree.
the
I
most
agree.
part.
That's a
I agree.
reward for team
No, listen,
accomplishment.
you're not understanding what I listen to comprehend. All I said was they were the most dominant, most consistent team. Who
Right.
is the leader of that team?
Jason
Jason
Tatum.
Tatum.
I agree.
Jason
That's-
Tatum is 27 a game, 8 rebounds a game, 5 assists a game, a steal. He's shooting 47 from the field,
that's what
38 from the free. He's shooting 85% from free throw. He's shooting 55% effective from 2-point. He's putting up great numbers. It's not like I'm saying he's averaging
Can we look at
21
his
a game.
teammates though?
He playing great
Can we look at
defense.
his
Man,
teammates and then look at Brunson's
He playing
teammates?
great
I'm not looking at nobody's teammates because we're talking about individual
Teammates are regardless of all.
Right,
Yeah.
so let's
I'm
look at
talking
Brunson's
no.
individual numbers. Look at Jalen Brunson's
He's
individual
29 a
Hey,
game.
hold on.
He's
Let's
4
look at his numbers.
rebounds a game.
Because
He's
Randall
7
not
assists a
there.
game.
Because
That's all
Randall
I'm
not
saying.
there, Brunson get all the shot. Because Randall not there, Brunson get
I
all
have
the
So wait. So
I have
saying
Jalen
taking
Brunson.
away credit because he doesn't have a superstar teammate?
Did I say
He
that?
said I'm taking away. See,
But you
y'all
said
looking
because
at it from
Randall's
out.
not there,
Y'all
he's
looking at it
getting
from
more
out.
shots.
I'm saying if you go put Tatum in New York, he might be averaging 30.
All
That's what
I'm
I'm
saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see
Can
what
I
you're
go?
saying.
Can I go
I see
now?
what you're
I
saying.
got-
was
got-
listening to comprehend. Can I go now? I was
Go
listening
ahead.
to comprehend.
Go
So,
ahead, big fella.
so the reason why I asked if
Give me
LeBron and
petty,
AD
dog.
should both be on the All NBA team because they are an 8 seed right now. They are an 8 seed, and I think, to me, honestly, I think you do have to include team record just a little bit and where you place that. I think that if you're an 8 seed, it's kind of hard to put two All NBA, two players on an All NBA team if we're going to use that argument. But
You're being disingenuous with that argument because the 8th seed and the 4th seed are separated by 3.5 games.
That's what I'm about to say.
But that's a
Yeah, because if
disingenuous
that was in the
argument.
East, it'd probably be like a
Yeah.
third.
And
Because they literally said last night that expanding the next 3 to 4 games, the 4th through the 8th seed can literally interchange.
So not just that, I understand winning is important, but you telling me if a guy averages 35, 10, and 12, and his team only wins 12 games, he shouldn't get recognition for being a fucking all-star? For being a 35, 10, and 12 guy? That's all I'm saying. When it comes to individual, I'm talking about I'm not talking about MVP. I'm not talking about MVP. I'm just talking about being individual first team all NBA, especially since they done took positions away, just your top 15 guys. You got to show love to somebody that's have been the leader of that team. That's all I'm saying. And Brunson deserves all NBA credit. I got him second team all NBA. I just don't
I got him the first person on second team.
Yeah, him and that man.
The first person. I mean, y'all only put 5 on the first though. You know what I'm saying?
I think the argument that you made for the Celtics, I think they deserve. I think Jaylen Brown deserves to be on an All NBA team with Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum should be on the second team. I think Jaylen Brown should be on the third team. I think Brunson has done enough. I think Brunson has done enough.
If we had to do an MVP ladder, who high on the MVP ladder, Tatum or Brunson?
That's a good.
Brunson. I got Luka. I got Luka first. I got SGA second. No, I got Luka. I got Jokic. Then I got SGA. Then I got Brunson. I got Tatum.
But on the official MVP, but on the official ladder, Tatum is over Brunson though.
They asked me who I got. They didn't ask for the official ladder. They asked me who I got.
Gotcha.
So winning don't matter to you.
Cool. You asked me who I had, right?
Hey, bro, my bad, dog. Man, about to jump through the screen on me. God damn. So look, Coach, you didn't spark something in that man this morning, Coach.
You see that?
I definitely got SGA. I definitely got SGA for MVP because your team number 1 in the West, and you don't have a superstar next to you. You got good players around you. You got very good young players around you, but you don't have no superstar. You don't have that guy. Kyrie has been that guy. Kyrie knows how to. Kyrie is the closer for them. You know what I'm saying?
Would you call him a superstar? Would you call him a superstar right now? So
Kyrie. I mean, he could never not be a superstar.
Man,
what you mean he could never not?
Man, Luka numbers are
Kyrie not a
superstar. To me, this is Luka's year to win.
I feel like he's coming from, but that was worded crazy.
Yeah.
If Kyrie is healthy, he's been a superstar. Kyrie might be the only player to play 12 games in college and still be the number 1 pick.
Hey, son, listen, I'm with you with the Kyrie. I was just asking you could consider him a superstar. I'm a Kyrie fan, so I'm just asking.
Yeah, I consider him a superstar, and I don't like Duke, so but Kyrie him. I ain't knocking Luka, but you playing with a superstar. Who is SGA's next best player?
But hold on, but Luka been doing that before he's playing with superstars, dog. Luka been doing this. Luka
I agree.
been doing this.
SGA wasn't supposed to be a one and done.
Man, hey, listen. All I'm saying is
when you just look at just the MVP, that's all I'm looking at. The MVP race.
Yeah.
What Luka did this year is phenomenal, bro.
He number one in the West.
Special. It don't. Hey, listen, that doesn't always happen. Just keep it a buck. It doesn't always happen.
Hey, I'm gonna say
that
the whole
What SGA doing not special.
Hey,
that shouldn't take away from
about 8 years ago. About 8 years ago, the number one in the West team would have mattered until Russ became MVP as a 4th seed. Once that happened, that seed
was a 6 seed.
He wanted
whatever they was 6, yeah, whatever they was. Once that happened, the seed went out the door.
That don't matter.
It was how good you make your team, right? How good is your team without you, right?
See, that's what it's no. That's what the award should be. For the longest, it was the best player with the best
on the best
top 3 records. That's what it was for the longest.
I'm alone with MVP over Michael Jordan. Charles Barkley won MVP over Michael Jordan because they had the best record.
Exactly. Right. That's what the award used to be. The MVP should be who is the most important to their team, who is the most valuable, the person that if you take away for that team, they become nothing. That's what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I agree. There ain't no argument there. I'm just and again, if Luka win it, I don't have a problem with Luka winning. I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm an SGA fan
in a long time though.
And that's how I feel about SGA. If SGA win it, I don't have a problem with it because the kid a baller. He's a superstar.
I'm from Dallas, so I ain't got no problem with Luka, but it just if we just looking at players and the team and all that, then I'm gonna go SGA. But shit, Luka the truth. Do they beat the Clippers in 6? I seen somebody say, I don't know about that.
I think they get him this time. I think he get over the hump. He been killing them by himself for a minute. Now that he got that extra guy, that closer, I think they get over the hump. I think Dallas is gonna be a very, very. That's my sleep in the West. That's all I'm gonna say. Dallas is my sleep.
Hey, I got Luka MVP, but they going to sleep in the first round, man. Clippers about to beat them boys.
I got the Nuggets repeat.
Nuggets on the repeat.
Hey, if Kawhi don't play first round though, what you think?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't play first round. I don't know. If Kawhi play first round,
I'm not high on the Clippers anyway. I don't think the Clippers are really like
the shitters.
I ain't high on the Clippers. I'm high on playoff Kawhi.
The shitters.
High on the player Kawhi. No, he not healthy enough.
Everybody talking about playoff Kawhi is that guy.
I don't like knocking players, so I ain't gonna say nothing bad about Kawhi. But he not healthy enough for me even to speak on him, right? Like, how many times has he played 60 games?
Hey, why are we still talking about that other team in LA? Let's move on.
Hey.
I can live with that.
Sports Academy, man.
I can live with that.
Hey. So we're gonna get into a team in the East that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks right quick, man. So last year, I said when they lost to Miami in the first round, I said even though Giannis went on this rant, I said that shit was a failure. You get the number 1 seed, you win 6. If the Celtics lose in the first round, that shit a failure. Because you get the number 1 seed, you predicted to go to the championship, and you lose to the 8 seed that barely got out of the play-in. And whether it was Giannis was hurt or not, the one game Milwaukee did when Giannis didn't even play. So, and then
I can't take away the hurt from him though. We can't just dismiss the injury. We can't just totally dismiss it. That's the only reason why
you told me in the 90s they played through the injuries though.
What does one have to do with the other? Being
I'm
hurt
saying we gotta. You gotta knock him if in the.
Big fella, I'm not saying nothing. I said that you gotta say something by it. It is a failure, but I put a little asterisk by it because your best dog wasn't all 100%. I'm not saying that they get a pass or anything. I just put a little asterisk because your best dog was not at 100%. That's all I said.
I was maybe but I didn't. Y'all remember that playoff game where the Bucks and the Heat was playing, and Giannis was so scared to have the ball at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Kenny, they getting out coached no matter what. That it don't even matter about play on the court.
Facts.
They getting out coached, right?
Yeah,
like I feel like we don't need to talk about them. That it's nothing against Dame, but I don't know how to feel about Giannis. I don't know how to feel about Giannis without knocking him. I don't feel like he elevates. I don't know. I don't know how to speak on Giannis, bro, because Dame is him, but pairing him with a player like Giannis is like, okay, Dame, save me. He not Luka. Like Giannis not Luka.
Well, people, Giannis is still developing, man.
I think Dame and Bobby Portis play better together.
Yeah, I'm about to say the same thing.
Hold on. How many years do we go? How many years before you fully develop?
No. He might not never develop. That's why I say he's still one of those works of art. He might be one of the guys that when it comes all said and done, he's the what if man. What if he could have got this consistently? You remember Giannis didn't start playing basketball until he was 16, 17 years old. So he's late to the game. So there's still the timing of when to take over and when to be that guy, that timing of how to sit back and be aggressive as a slasher instead of a ball handler. He still has to learn that shit in the NBA game. He didn't have the college route to kind of learn some of that from a high level coach. And then you got to rely on fucking Doc Rivers. I'm sorry, the most overrated coach in NBA history. Like you got that guy trying to teach you how to learn to develop. Adrian Griffin, this was his first grip. So it's not like he had the best. You had Jason Kidd that's more of a guard for six. So every head coach he's never had a development of guy that could work with a guy like of his stature. Because you got to think about it. He's not the prototypical guy. He's not a guy that, I could just work with it. He's totally awkward. He has skill traits that we really haven't seen in a very, very long time. So it's not a guy that's going to just refine over a couple of period of years like SGA. You could see his progression, bang, 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 bang. Well, we're not surprised with. We're totally surprised with what we're seeing from Giannis. When Giannis first got in the league, that 15-year-old, 15 pick, the little skinny, scrawny guy that just was trying to live off athleticism, is totally different from what we have right now. So I still think there's a couple of layers that he can add to his game. I just think he's just not there yet. He's still evolving. Again, he may never get there. Yeah, he has a rigid game.
Hey, so what do y'all think it would take for the Bucks to do to salvage this season?
Oh, this season is over with. Yeah, this season is over.
Oh, no. The playoff. No. It's not over.
It's not over. The season over. They're gonna be whatever seed they are, and they got the playoffs.
Maybe let Dame lead the way. Let Dame lead the way because Doc Rivers.
So to salvage this NBA season, do you think they got to get to the second round, the Eastern Conference Finals or finals? What do you think they have to do to say, okay, we good?
There's nothing they can do.
If they beat anybody not named Boston, they're all right.
Yeah, son, you got to look at it. As long as they don't lose,
okay. Yeah. So if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals and lose to Boston in 5 or 6,
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I don't think they get that far,
bro. I can't. If you just look at the playoffs, I have again. When we talk about the NBA, we're talking about the best of the best, high level comedy. It goes down to the little minute and small things, X factors. But one of the biggest things is coaching. I don't see Doc Rivers being a better coach than really anyone in the playoffs. That's going to be the biggest hindrance because really and truly, when Giannis is struggling, they need to put him at that 5 and play that 1-5 matchup with him and Dame. Put him at that low blow to use him as a matchup and use him as the lob guy off the pick and rolls, off the flopping motion. You feel what I'm saying? But Doc Rivers don't even see that part. But that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, I think they made a mistake hiring Doc Rivers.
Hell yeah.
They made a mistake hiring that man.
Listen.
Yeah, they were 30 and 13, and now they're at. You think they made a mistake, dog? They were 30 and 13 with Adrian Griffin, and now they're right at 500 with Doc Rivers. Ain't no think that was a mistake.
The Bucks made a mistake hiring Doc Rivers. The Clippers made a mistake hiring Doc Rivers. The Orlando Magic, NBC, ESPN, they all made a mistake hiring Doc Rivers.
The thing is, the reason why it's a failure because of roster construction. Regardless of the coach, they was too slow on the perimeter, especially on secondary rotations. That's their main problem. They didn't compensate for Chris. They was hoping for Chris Middleton to be healthy. He's not. They was hoping Brook Lopez would continue to be as mobile as he did last year. He actually regressed again. And all the other role players are either old or not athletic enough for them to be consistent enough on defense. That's their problem. It's personnel. It's not coach. No coach in the league is going to fix their personnel issues. That's their issue, and that's why the season's over. When Giannis, especially,
I'm gonna say
especially,
no,
it's not.
Wait,
it's not coaching.
Didn't they have an old roster? Didn't they have an old roster 2 years ago? And with your second best player having bad knees issues and all that, and they still got it done.
No, they didn't get it done 2 years ago.
No, I'm talking when they won it 2 or 3 years ago. Didn't they have an old roster? They number 2 had bad knees and they had in and out issues, and they still got it done.
No, there wasn't as they're older now. Literally, all the guys that get majority of the minutes outside of Malik Beasley and Giannis are well above 30.
Dame is pretty old too.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. No, I'm saying that wasn't the case when they got it done. That wasn't the case.
I know. I'm
But
talking about the ancillary
even
points.
what
there
they
is a stat
said
where
though.
if Dame has a certain amount of shots taken, that they're like 10-1. So like there's a stat that kind of indicates that if they let Dame lead the way and be the alpha of the team, for some reason they have a way higher winning percentage at a higher clip.
That's how Dame plays. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how that's his game.
But no, I'm
But
definitely
no,
I'm
as a
definitely
team
saying
though, they have a better
I'm
record.
definitely saying a coaching thing because whenever they made the trade with Drew Dame for that whole trade, they made an obvious decision. We need more offense, right? That was obvious. We trading our best defender for somebody who's an elite offensive player that we know don't play defense, right? So it was obvious. Right. We think everybody else we can survive on defense without Drew. And it was true. People made a big deal about the defense, not realizing that Milwaukee now had the second best offense in the league. They had a higher net rate than they had the year before. Their team record was actually better than it was at that point in the season than the year before. So what they wanted to do, they did. People just didn't like that it looked so different. But what we went to do, we wanted more offense. We got more offense. This is what we wanted. Now, why they fired the dude in the process of that? Like I said, that's the shadiest shit ever in my life. You know what I'm saying? And now you got a different coach with that same roster, and the shit look like shit. Because now you brought in the defensive coach to coach a non-defensive team. Now you say non-defensive team, but you got different pieces, right? I don't have Drew and Grayson Allen that play aggressive on the perimeter to allow Lopez to play drop the whole time, right? I got Dame who's gonna get caught on
or JC.
Yeah,
hey,
right.
Jerm, that's why I brought up that scenario at the beginning of the conversation when I said Giannis was afraid of the ball at the end of the game last year against Miami. I think that was like game 5, I think, or game 4.
Game 5.
I don't know, but I think that's why Milwaukee got Dame for the playoffs. For the playoffs, like they needed a player to go at in case Jimmy Butler go off for 50 points. Like Drew Holiday wasn't about to go back and forth with Jimmy Butler.
Right.
Like, but Dame,
he's
capable to do that.
And now you can't wall up the paint like they normally do against Giannis in playoff time because I got Dame, right? So now the way you got to play me on defense changes, and that's what they wanted, right? Because at the end of the day, yes, defense wins championships, but in the playoffs, you need that dude who can go get you that bucket, right? Unless you think the game gonna be a blowout, you need that dude that's gonna give you that bucket. You play all.
So if the Bucks lose in the first round, what do we say about them?
It's a failure. Like I said last year,
it's Doc Rivers' fault.
Yeah.
I feel like the Bucks are one of them teams because Giannis is perennial MVP every season. We talk about them, but why we not talking about people like Minnesota? You lose your second best player and you still at the top of the West.
Look, the reason I'm not talking about Minnesota because if they end up playing Phoenix in the first round, I think I think they go on.
But it's the same.
Cliff has a good point. Cliff has a good point though because I got Ant-Man in my first team All-NBA for that very reason. So you can give him regular season props. Absolutely.
Who else over there in Minnesota with him?
Nobody. Cat is hurt.
Minnesota got a great defense.
Props and then say, but he could still get washed out in the playoffs. It doesn't change that he had a great regular season.
No facts.
Look, if he get beat by the Suns in the playoffs, first of all, they got 3 people that can go off whenever. We all know a 7-game series is different from a full season, right? So if Booker cooking this game, then the next game Bill cooking, it's a 85% chance KD gonna cook every game. Right, 85%. It is rare that KD don't cook. So my thing, like, the seeding is crazy. I just feel like the seeding is crazy because if they do get the Suns in the first round, it's a 90% chance they're gonna lose. You got Ant-Man versus,
and I think that's why people
2 superstars and a former. I ain't gonna say Brad Beal was a superstar, but he was superstar level. You averaging 30.
He was, I ain't gonna say superstar.
But you have a couple. You have young teams.
You average 30. You average 30. You're not a superstar.
He's an elite scorer.
Yeah,
he's not a superstar.
But those young teams, there's a couple young teams that might lose in the playoffs, where it's not a bad thing. This is good experience for them to get.
Yeah, I mean it's a going process.
OKC Thunder losing in the playoffs is not gonna be.
Denver got consistently better. You know, ain't nobody hype up Denver too early. They got.
Hey, let me respond to that, bro. Sacramento, they probably never be as good as it was last year, bro. But I think just like I said, what was going to happen to Sacramento last year, I said if they let it go to a game 7, the Warriors was gonna beat them.
Yeah,
Memphis,
experience is a motherfucker.
Memphis, when they played the Lakers in the second round, in the first round, I said, look, Lakers, even though they're a 7 seed, they're gonna take out Memphis. Bro, the same thing gonna happen with Minnesota this year. Whether they play the Lakers, whether they play the Suns, I think they're going home in the first round.
Yeah,
because
it's a bad matchup.
Have a team
that might
focusing
happen
on
to the Thunder too. That might
games.
happen to the OKC Thunder too. That's just a young team.
Exactly. I
Bad
got a team
matchup.
that's finna focus on Ant for 7 games. A team finna focus on HJ for 7 games.
Yeah, it's
Who
a
your
7-game
other
series,
dude-
so they can shut down.
Yeah, who your other dude that's gonna take over? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, hey, somebody, one of them top teams hoping they draw Sacramento that first round.
Absolutely.
They're not
Hey,
healthy.
Sacramento's in the play-in right now.
Yep.
They're in the
Yeah.
play-in.
You don't
The
got
only team that
play-
don't want to play, the only team that don't want to play Sacramento is probably the Lakers.
The Lakers.
And they may not even get past the play-in because right
Because of
now
picks.
Sacramento lost a game and the Lakers are in the 8th seed now. So the Lakers bumped up 1 seed, and Sacramento fucked up by losing that game because they could have been in the driver's seat in the play-in. Now they in a negative position in the play-in, so they may not
they gotta
even get
go
into
in
the playoffs.
Yeah, they gotta get in the road both times.
The Warriors might knock them out.
It's gonna be the Lakers versus Warriors to play for the 8th seed.
Exactly.
Don't
And
say
then,
that.
and the
Don't say
Nuggets might get 3rd seed. The Nuggets right now are on a 3-way tie for the 1st seed. So right now, if the playoffs were to start today, the Nuggets would be the 3rd seed.
Playing the
Hey,
Pelicans.
but
The Pelicans will be going home.
Here's the
I
crazy
don't-
thing: the Nuggets don't give a damn. The Nuggets can start the season in the 6th seed. They
I
don't
don't
give a
think they
damn,
do.
dog. They
No,
don't.
No, I
agree.
agree, but I'm just talking about the other teams that have to play them. All I'm talking
Right, no, I
about is
feel
the
you.
dynamic of other. So if they're in the 3rd seed, that's going to fuck up what a lot of people thought their matchup was going to be because they have to depend on the Wolves and the Thunder to lose games in this next 1 or 2 games, or they're going to be the 3rd seed.
Nah, because they will want the 3rd seed because you get the not saying it's gonna be a light task, but the Pelicans. You get the Pelicans. That's a nice little tune up, get you out of there. And then when you get that 2nd round, that's where it really get tricky because where you would end up getting a 4 seed, now you end up with a 2 seed, then it really get gangster. So it breaks out.
All right, y'all. Hey, before we wrap it up, I like to do this every time we have a podcast. I like to talk about anything that's going on in the sports world that's on your mind. Jordan, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about women's basketball. You want to hop on that topic? What's been on your mind about that, Jordan?
Jordan, shout out.
No, he'll be right back. He'll be right back. Yo, Jake. Jake, can I mention something that's coming?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so today, gentlemen, and anyone watching in the chat on Facebook, we got the most stacked UFC card ever. Is tonight. UFC 300. You have multiple cards from David Figueroa versus Cody Garbrandt, Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill, Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway, and so we got essentially 3 title fights, literally from prelims to the main card. You're gonna get none but fire fights. I encourage anybody, especially a combat fan, to watch it tonight. UFC 300.
You got
And also shout out to OJ. All time great. Hey, all time great.
Hey, thanks. You got anything, Jared?
Yeah, man. Since Jordan not here to talk on women basketball, man, I know everybody kept up with this season. They seen where women basketball at. I know a lot of the talk was about Caitlin Clark and all of that. You know, she going on to the WNBA. People wondering if she gonna be able to keep up that level of stardom. I mean, of course, she ain't gonna come out the gate averaging 30. That'd be crazy to even think so. But college basketball, even next year, dog, with the women that they got, is still gonna be elite, bro. I know people worried about what LSU gonna look like. You know, that's what we from. That's what we look at. LSU gonna still be that team next year. LSU gonna still be that team next year. All they losing is injuries. You know what I'm saying? Samaya Smith coming back. You still got last tier Poole who can either start or come off the bench. Michaela gonna take that jump. Flage, we saw she took that jump in that tournament. She gonna be that dog next year. They
got type talent.
They got Jersey. I don't know how many people is familiar with Jersey. I didn't know too much about her. I got a homegirl who coached basketball in Arkansas, And when I saw the transfer, I asked, hey, you know, how good is this girl from Arkansas? She's she liked that. 6'5" point forward in women's basketball. 6'5" point forward in women's basketball. She said she don't know what went with the team. There's some coaching issue. They didn't get along, so that's why she like dropped off the team and all that. But they say she liked that, right? Samaya Smith coming back, and then our area, they got that dog coming in from Opelousas. That dog, you know what I'm saying? I don't think she gonna stop the gate, but trust me, she putting that heat on whoever at that point guard position. She putting that heat on them. Jada Reshard, remember the name, that dog. I'm still excited for women basketball next week. They got Juju and all them that's gonna still do their thing. So I'm still excited, though. I'm still excited.
Before I dip out real
Alright.
quick, Coach Dortez, got a quick question for you,
Whoa,
brother.
what's good with it, folks?
So I was told a while
Man,
back,
come on,
you know,
doing all that
how
smiling, man.
boring women's basketball was, right? How nobody
Okay.
watches it, huh?
Okay.
I've said for a while, my brother, as well as Justin, your coach, give it time. Because just as we would have started in the 50s and the 60s watching basketball, wouldn't be as exciting as it was now. But as I told a lot of these cats in the group, if you would agree, and I got examples, and I can't really jump on it, I'm about to get on the road. Majority of the fans that I've seen today, what ESPN feeds them, they buy it. And it proved it, even though Caitlin Clark is a dog, not taking nothing from her. What Dawn Staley's doing with South Carolina, the whole nine. But me and Justin said, and I said from jump, we go back to the old podcast, when the marketing gets behind women's sports and basketball namely, more people's going to watch, more people's going to tune in, just in case. Because what I've noticed with majority of the fans, a lot of them operate on groupthink. They don't filter through media, and they don't operate on their own wavelength of thinking for themselves. We see it a lot of different times. Obviously, who's on the panel right now, I can rock with y'all because we can speak candidly and neutrally and be honest in our different discussions. But I'm speaking for the masses. Huh?
So this is probably the smartest panel we had in a while, right? Now the ones that's on. Hey, just put our own home.
Because literally everybody on right now, we can speak candidly, and honestly. It's accept faults, wrongs, whatever, acknowledge the good points, the whole nine. But I still like to say to end this. I said it from jump. When the media gets behind it, more cats gonna tune in. It's that simple. And I said that because not only that, and I also said that give the girls time to catch up because obviously they're not as athletically inclined as men. In addition to, they need the right marketing and the right push. And I'm gonna finish it with this point. We know about the Lakers-Boston rivalry. We know about the Steph-LeBron rivalry. We know about the Kobe-Shaq rivalry when they split up. We know about the Jordan-Karl, whatever, because the media and ESPN developed those backstories, those documentaries. They've developed that rivalry. What rivalry do we know about in the WNBA? They don't speak on it. We know about the rivalry
it's not
between
there.
Angel Reese.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
My bad.
It is. You're just not tuning in, but that's neither here nor there. The rivalry I'm saying is that with the rivalry as well with Angel and Caitlin, it's sad that it went to that, but literally everybody deemed Angel as just because men talk shit the whole time. Would you agree? Every sport. But the moment that Angel Reese was talking shit, just now that all of a sudden, she's classless. She has no class. And she should have more class and good sportsmanship. Do we not see all these people watch football and deem football as the greatest sport and how much shit cats talk and how after they crack somebody and everything? So it's funny. It's funny how shit flips is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give you the floor. It's funny how shit flips and how with certain topics the goalposts and the metrics shift and how certain standpoints is like I was told like, oh well, it was an isolated event. That's why people tuned in. Dog, let me tell you something. I don't give a damn about what's going on in football. I don't give 3 fucks about any level. From collegiate to NFL. I don't care about the drama, the players, the history. I don't give 3 fucks. I'm not tuning into nothing. Baseball, same shit. The dude Otani or Shine, I don't give a shit. But now, it's an isolated event. That's why people tuned in. That's stupid. That's dumb. It makes no sense to me. Because if you're not interested, you're not interested no matter what's going on. That's the only thing I'm gonna say is it's just very funny that I see how certain metrics are moved or certain points are pivoted around certain time frames, certain instances, and certain events. And I'll end it with that, brother. So I don't know because I gotta go ahead.
Hey, before you go, did you watch the Super Bowl this year or went to a Super Bowl party?
Fuck no, I don't watch.
So
I don't
you
watch football.
never watched the Super Bowl?
I lie. I watched halftime shows on YouTube.
No. I mean, me and you had a conversation that you was at a Super Bowl party last year. And you just wasn't paying attention
Yeah,
to the
for the
TV every
food,
now and again.
absolutely. For the food,
So you was one of the
yes.
idiots that had the TV on and you glanced at it that you just talked about. That's an isolated incident because no other time would you pay attention. Oh, wait, no, I gave you the floor. So
right.
no other time
right.
would you pay attention to football other than that one isolated event because of football, beer, and all that other good stuff. Kind of like this. I have nothing against women college basketball, but I did went do my own research, right? So in my research, I found out that it's not all of women's college basketball. The highest rated numbers over the last 2 years involved one young lady. One young lady got the highest rating, and her name was Caitlin Clark. And I gave it up to the Tim Tebow, Psycho T, and Caitlin Clark. wITH phenomenon. All right. When a certain demographic of people get a player or a one that they can hang their hat on, as we like to say, it brings out your casual fans. And when is the last time in our recent history did we know that we saw a young lady of that melanin put on like that? So there was a whole section of the country that felt totally like enthralled in supporting this young lady. So I'm just going to give you just on 2023. Last year, LSU versus Virginia Tech, they got 3.4 million views. The LSU Iowa game got 10 million views. It was the highest rated game of any college basketball or women's college basketball up until that point. 2024, South Carolina, NC State, 7 million views. South Carolina, Iowa, 19 million views. It was the highest rated game. Again, and I put a post into the chat the other day. It was written like a Hollywood script. You had a team chasing an undefeated season. All right, they got knocked out by Caitlin Clark on last year, which interrupted a two-peat, which could have been a three-peat. You had the LSU team that was defending national champions with Bayou Barbie and the hot coach and the Flo J and everything that you talked about. And then you had the female version of Steph Curry that was chasing greatness, that was trying to. It was a Hollywood script. It was perfect. It was perfectly dictated by the media. They ran with the storyline and everything. The reason why it's more impactful is because it is the exact opposite of what's going on in men's college basketball. That was going to be what I talked on. The reason why men's college basketball is taking a back seat now is because no one has that familiarity. No one has that guy that they can go back with from his freshman to his sophomore to his junior year because everybody's one and done. Those soul rivalries don't have the same oomph because once you get attached to a guy, he's gone the next year. We've had 3 years to be invested into Caitlin Clark. You had 2 or 3 years to be invested in Angel Reese if you followed her from Maryland. You got years to be invested into these young ladies that's in our backyards, like Jada Richard from Appaloosa. We're going to watch this young lady develop for 3 and 4 years because for the fact, frankly, there's no reason for them to jump to the NBA. But with guys, when they jump to the NBA, that eradicates your rivalries, that takes away your storylines, that takes away all these narratives that you normally would see around big time college basketball. Think about the most interesting story for the men's basketball was DJ Davis, the kid, the 5th year senior from North Carolina, from NC State. He was the biggest state, and he might play 4 meaningful minutes in NBA basketball. He may play 4 meaningful minutes, but he was the shining star. But he's been there 4 years. People attached to him. The story grew. That's what made the women's basketball game so compelling. I hope the numbers keep going. I'm not one of those guys that hate women's sports or anything like that. I hope the numbers keep going. But let's not confuse an uptick and an anomaly into something that's bigger.
It's not about confusing 2 things. From jump, I told you when I go to these parties, you can ask. I can give you some text messages and I'll put you in group chats. Son, I'm there either socializing or eating.
You still there? You saw the game?
You know,
you saw it.
No,
that you are counted as a viewer. No, you are counted as a viewer. I'm looking at the views right here. Nielsen's rating. You're counted as a viewer.
I thought viewership was watching the actual
man, you're counted as a view, son. You counted as a view. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you want to slice it, you're counted as a view.
I thought actual viewership was
man, listen, you're counted as a view, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
How would they know if you're watching the duration? If your TV is on and you're there, they count it as a view. You're a viewer of the Super Bowl.
So that's what I'm saying. So you asked me, so anomalous. So I'm telling you, I don't watch the game still though. So will you tell when it's brought up about like the drama aspect of watching it though, I still don't tune in. I don't give a shit about it. So remember,
but you count
from jump. But hold on, from jump, the second point is when you bring all it up is I've said from jump, the marketing has to be behind it. So all the views and the numbers and everything you just gave,
It
there's
was
no
behind
story
one
behind it as
person.
well. I
It's
get that. But listen though. Once again, I said the investment aspect of it as well. Because they still have drivers that we can speak on behind the scenes as well. Football will be what it is in every other sport as well behind the viewership. We have shows upon shows upon shows angled around basketball, football, and other ones. There's little to no investment. Oh, nobody watched it, nobody's invested in it. That's why, once again, a lot of these cats operate in groupthink, dog. And what I'm saying is that I get exactly what you're saying, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, well, you gotta invest in it as well as the development and give that time. That's all a perfect storm for it. Now, cats wanted the WNBA. Cats want the WNBA. They want to see Shaq and Kobe. They want to see Steph. They want to see Trae Young and Giannis. That makes no sense, and that's stupid.
No.
That's
That's not what they're looking for, Jordan. You're confusing what they're looking for. They're looking for excitement. That's the issue. It's
hold on.
excitement.
Let me finish, Coach. Let me finish.
Go
What
ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
saying is that they're looking for that development, that excitement you're speaking on. They're looking for that immediately, just in general. We didn't get this form of the NBA immediately when it first came out in the model product. We had to wait for years upon years of time for it to develop.
Well, fuck,
So
how
what I'm
long we gonna
saying
wait
is,
for the WNBA?
I'm not looking. How long has the WNBA been created, dog?
Shit, they were 35 years old by now?
And how long?
About that.
We just made the 75th. We just made the 75th NBA team.
So wait, hold on. So wait, time out. Hold on. So if you have if I'm younger than you, but if I have a perfect model for success, shouldn't my maturation be quicker? Shouldn't I learn from your faults? Shouldn't I learn from how you did things wrong and get better at it?
Let's also go back to what you said earlier. Is it my point when I was born, how I was born, whatever the case is as well?
No, John, I'm not disagreeing. This is what I'm saying. I'm with you, big brother.
But the development, at the end of the day, Coach, a lot of these girls are catching up of how they're developing, how they're starting to develop as far as their body makeup, as well as the skill set, and as far as how they're able to transition the game as to now. We want to see more exciting games now.
Hey,
you're missing the point.
You think
The football is full of exciting and big hits. There's many points that you can point out. The NBA is high flying, it's flying all over. It's great. Women's basketball is a better product for like actual X's and O's. As for backdoor cuts and running offense, is a better product. It's just not exciting. That's why men are out.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
just not exciting. I always say if the WNBA would drop the goals to 9 feet, they already play with a smaller basketball. So let's not say they changing the rules and everything for basketball.
Discrimination is gonna come into that point.
No, they play with a smaller ball. That's not discrimination. They play with a smaller ball. Biologically, they don't have bigger hands as big as men, so they play with a smaller ball. So biologically, they don't jump higher as men. So why not bring the rim down to 9 feet? Let them dunk. Let them have alleys and everything. I guarantee the stadium will be full.
You're tailoring to what I'm saying as well. They want you drop the goal down so we can see the dunks and everything that we're seeing in the NBA. You want to basically implant what you're seeing in the NBA immediately over to WNBA just so I can be involved, just so I can watch it. And that's what I'm saying. Give it more time to develop. Give it more time to be able to be what it is in its own right. Because everybody's saying we're tired of seeing people compared to Jordan. We're tired of seeing him, trying to hear the comparisons. Let them be their own player. But now we're looking to make the WNBA into the NBA, drop the goals, let them play with that as well. So everything you're saying is basically proving my point exactly as well, is that I'm not going to watch unless it's what I want to see in this form, in this realm, just like the NBA, just in general. So
that's what the NBA did.
Only thing that I'm saying in general is that, and I promise you, we're gonna bring this back up. You and I go jump on.
Yeah, we good.
The only thing that I'm gonna bring this up is just in general is that a lot of cats operate, like I've said from jump, is on groupthink.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about any of these other sports, no matter what's going on, but I'm gonna tune in because I hear about this going on. So that's what I'm saying is you can't move the metric and the goalpost and the guideline because of what you're hearing. Because just like I said, the investment in the media and the marketing, now I'm tuning in. So if they do the same aspect of it in different components of it, then we're going to have more viewership as well. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time, like we talked about, like we know. But at the same time as well, it's basically proving the point of what I'm saying from jump about giving time not only to develop, but also give the marketing the actual push behind it as well. We're going to definitely finish this up, dog, because I got to jump up. If y'all on, by the time I get to where I'm good, I'm going to jump back on and we'll finish up.
Well, I want to hear from Nelson.
Yeah, because you didn't address the point. The best point Coach made was the ethnicity point. Because if you look at the American-born white star, that's where all the ratings went to. if you look at Luka and Joker and all these other players, they're not going to be as big and popular as an Austin Reeves would have been if Austin Reeves was on Luka's level. There's not a lot of players that are born in America, from America, that are white, that are that good. So when you do have one, they have a great white hope effect. And every time Caitlin Clark plays in the game, she has the most ratings. That's not marketing. That's not none of that shit. That's the actual connection of the majority of the population of a dominant society feeling relatable to a star. They're not going to feel relatable to Luka, who's from fucking Slovenia. They're not going to feel relatable to Joker, who's from Lithuania. So they're going to win as many MVPs and shit as they want, but they're not American-born white.
So, hey, look, the only push I'm going to put on that, because Caitlin Clark is just different because
Yeah, she different.
You had a Kelsey Plum. You had Paige at the same time, who's just as electrifying as Caitlin Clark. You had Sabrina, who plays exactly like Caitlin Clark. You had Breanna Stewart, who to me is the greatest college player ever. You know what I'm saying? So you had a lot of white. You had Cameron Brink right now at the same time. You had a lot of white players right now who really like that.
But they wasn't exciting.
It's how, yeah, right. It's how Caitlin Clark played. Although Sabrina played the same way. Sabrina was on the West Coast though, so you had to still watch her.
Stay till 1 o'clock in the morning to see her.
Yeah. Hey, Sabrina was cooking it, right? Hey, but yeah. Probably had a better Caitlin Clark, to be honest with you.
And then, I'm about to say the same thing. I just think it was a perfect storm. You had the female version of Steph Curry in Middle America. What is one of the most
she had a lot of things going for her.
And then you think about it, the most important battleground state in goddamn politics starts in Iowa. You feel me? So it was the perfect breeding ground for everything that
Jeremiah Cooper and Thomas had a good point. There was a racial aspect to it too, because the optics.
I mean, it's life, man.
Had 4 black starters and 1 white starter on it. You had 4 white starters and 1 black starter on Iowa. So there was a subconscious racial aspect to everybody tuning in to look at that.
I ain't gonna even say, hey, I'm not gonna even call that subconscious. Social media did that shit.
Yeah. Social engineering more than anything. That was social engineering.
Social media did that shit like.
Hey y'all, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Before we wrap it up, I just want to tell y'all this has been the most, as far as viewership wise, this has been the most successful podcast since we started this thing. This podcast right here.
So which one of y'all gonna be Caitlin Clark here?
Hey, I'm gonna do my little editing skills. I'm gonna pull some clips from the podcast. Probably tomorrow night or Monday, but thank y'all for coming. Y'all enjoy the rest of the playoffs. I think the Lakers and the Pelicans play together today. I think.
Yeah.
That's a big game for both of them. If the Pelicans win, they really secure that number 6 seed.
Yeah,
the Lakers win. They ain't got they gonna
no play-in.
They gonna be in a play-in, but they're gonna be on the top of the play-in.
Yeah, they get to host the play-in. Let me say they get to host the play-in.
Yeah, but hey, fellas.
Before you let us go, I gotta connect with Coach on this one thing, on the Luka hatred in the group. The Luka hatred in the group. If you look at the stats, the numbers of this, how he plays, a lot of the people like Sko and a lot of people, I'm calling you out. Everyone that says that Luka can't win the way he plays, look at his stats, look at his career trajectory. As soon as he came into the league, he was an All-NBA player. As soon as he came into the league, he was a top 5 MVP candidate every single year. And to say that his style of game can't play is to say that you haven't seen LeBron go to 9 finals, because he plays like LeBron plays. LeBron in the early part of his season, from early season to when he was in his prime, to barely after like the Heat and then the reinvigoration in the Cavs, he played in the system called the LeBron system. He was the guy that dictated everything that goes on the court the same way Luka does. So if you really don't see the dog in this dude right here, you honestly probably don't know basketball, bro.
And if people still comparing Luka to James Harden, I don't know what to tell you, son. If y'all think if he all you see is James Harden, I don't know what to tell you, son. I don't know what to tell you.
He has more dog in him than James Harden.
Way more.
Hey.
People are knocking James Harden like that man wasn't 1 quarter away from knocking off the Warriors, though.
Right, and that's the crazy part. They use it as an insult. That's the crazy part.
Hey, that was D'Antoni's fault. You see your team not doing something right, you the coach. You call the time I make that fucking adjustment.
Hey, let me piggyback off you right quick, Nelson. When it comes to Luka, this what I think about the Luka and Jalen Brunson thing. This what I think about it. Okay, I think Luka could be the best player on a contender, on a championship contender.
Absolutely.
I think Jalen Brunson could be the second best player on the championship contender.
Championship contender, or championship team.
I said contender on both of them. I said championship contender. I said Luka could be the best player on the championship contender. Jason Bronson could be the best player on the second best player on the championship contender.
Yeah, they got a bunch of motherfuckers who can play defense.
But hold on. And I said either both of those can be true from what we've seen so far, or both of them can be wrong. But one of them can't be right and one of them can't be wrong. And that's been my from what we've seen.
Listen, what I'm saying. That's why I wanted you to. Me and Jordan got into it today. I was asking you, what do you call contending? If you're talking about just making the playoffs, man, that's cool. I don't call that contending. I'm talking about contending from a title. I'm talking about putting a ring, Eastern Conference Final, NBA Final.
Okay, so when has Luka contended for a title? When has he?
I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you that.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point.
Hold on. No, that's not your point. That's not your point. We're making projections. Not you asked me when has he made. We're making projections. I said Luka can be your best player on a championship team. So you're trying to tell me you put Luka and AD on the same team? I'm just using that for an example. That's not a championship team. Tell me what person you compare Brunson with. Well, Brunson is the legit number 2, and they win a title.
I can put him with Embiid. I'll put him with Embiid.
Hell nah.
So what I think? You telling me?
No, I'm just disagreeing. I'm just disagreeing with what you think. I'm not saying you can't think it. I'm just disagreeing with it.
I think no. Hey, I give you a perfect example. I think you can swap Brunson and Jamal Murray, and the Nuggets still be just as good.
I don't agree with that one.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I don't agree with it. I think Jamal Murray is better than Brunson. I just mean it.
He bigger, so he don't give us much defense. I
just think he's. I'm not saying it's a big gap or anything like that. I just think he's a better player than Brunson.
Why I say both of them can't. One of them can't be right and one of them can't be wrong. Why I say that? Because we got to go by what we've seen so far. Yes, Luka has been to the Western Conference Final. Jason Brunson was his second best player on that team. The one time he got to the Western Conference Finals, Jalen Brunson was his second best player. Now, Jalen Brunson last year, he had his own. He finally was the best player on his first time in the season.
Mm-hmm.
He did what he did in the playoffs. What we've been waiting for Julius Randle to do in the playoffs. He actually showed up. So if Jalen Brunson, if he could be as the best player on the team, if he could bring a team to the second round of the playoffs as the best player, why can't he be the second best player on a championship contender?
It don't work like that because it just doesn't.
That's not theory. So with my theory with Luka, he could be the best player on the championship team because he is in fact an MVP candidate. He my MVP for the year.
Right.
But he hasn't actually did it. But I think he could do it because he is an MVP candidate. He is a top 5 player, top 3 player in the league. So I'm going by what I see, and I mean from Jalen Brunson, I'm going by what I'm seeing. So from what I'm seeing is he could be the second best player on the championship contender, even though it never happened yet. What I'm saying is
this. My problem is
I think it had to be a big. I think it had to be a big though.
That's what I'm saying. He can't be with another guard. He's the number 1.
Can't be another guard. Couldn't be another guard.
What does Luka need to for his team to be a championship contender?
I'm gonna go out on a limb right now. Kyrie has. Now, hear me out. Kyrie has proven that he can be a second best player on a team.
Anybody can be the second best player with LeBron. Anybody can be the second best player with LeBron.
But Williams was the second best player on LeBron.
Right now, the Dallas Mavericks was the second most dangerous team in the West. Right now, they're the second most dangerous team in the West. I got Denver, and then I got Dallas, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that because we've seen proof that they have enough of what it takes to actually make it happen. The only team that I think that could really be the bigger danger than them is the Denver Nuggets.
Man, I just think
Dallas is my sleeper.
I said when the Clippers moved Russell Westbrook to the bench, I said Russell Westbrook was going to be the best player off the bench, and the Clippers were making a championship move. And I still contend to that. I think the Clippers, if Kawhi healthy, like y'all said, if Kawhi healthy, I think the Clippers going to the championship.
Hey, let me ask you this, Ken. You said that you going off of what you've seen. What have you seen about Russell Westbrook show that he plays championship level winning basketball?
No, I said he's the best. When being
man.
a starter and coming off the bench is two different things.
Oh, but no, hold on. But he's part of that closing group.
And
He's part of the closing group.
And the Clippers, how the Clippers was playing when he was injured, from when they started playing when he came back, then you could tell they are a totally different team. Westbrook,
because he runs that second unit. He's that second unit guy, but he's part of the closing group. He part of that closing group. Is Harden, Westbrook, Kawhi, and George are going to be on the floor with 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter.
That's the only time they need to be on the floor together. Will you trust Russell
Westbrook with the ball in his hand with 3 minutes left to go of a key game?
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I wouldn't have Russell with that. I would have Zubac.
Russell Westbrook, he don't have to have the ball. He don't have to.
Listen, he don't have to. So I'm gonna put all my attention on Kawhi, and I'm gonna put my next best guy on goddamn PG, and I'm gonna put the ball in the hands of the two guys that have playoff failures. I'm gonna make Harden and Westbrook beat me. That's what I'm saying.
I think Westbrook has humble.
I see that.
He's changed a little bit. So
I
something
think so too.
happened where he's giving the ball up. He's letting PG shine. He's letting other people shine. So I'm gonna give Russ his props. I'm not sure that they're able to beat
him. Russ cooking in their game.
Y'all making a whole lot of sense, but he played for the Clippers. I cannot agree.
I was like, unless Russ cooking, I wouldn't have him closing, man. I wouldn't have him closing. Unless me cooking. I'd have Paolo on Zubac.
Lakers, baby. Lakers all day, man. I can't from the Clippers.
Hey, man, y'all have a blessed one, though. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up, man.
I think we need to stop tearing one player down to look at the player up. We can give them both their props. We can give Luka his props.
I've been saying that, bro. Nowadays, it's a prove somebody is worse than the other, not prove somebody is the other.
Right.
That's how people approach everything. That's how people approach it.
They need to make their own case to head on Luka individually. Let's leave Brunson out of it. If you think Luka's trash, explain why he's trash without talking about Brunson.
Hey, he my MVP this year, man.
In this group is because he's not melanated. That's why they hate him.
Hey, that's facts.
In the group, and that's kind of why I don't see.
He's not melanated, and they remind him too much of LeBron.
I see a lot of
he got 2 days working on that.
This is a Luka jersey. This is not a Brunson jersey. This is a Luka jersey.
I see you, but that might real recognize real.
Hey, this is a Luka jersey. But y'all have a blessed one, fellas. I'm gonna talk shit with y'all in the group. Like I said, I'm gonna post some edits. I'm gonna have everybody going off on their own little segment. I'm gonna make sure to take care of y'all, man. Y'all have a blessed one.
Man, you too, brother. See, y'all have a good one, fellas.